Great American Landowner. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 125, Life Goes On, Fighting Never Ends, Part 2. Feeling attacked in two places, Zhou experienced a strange sense of comfort. At this time, the little brother under him also began to feel more and more uncomfortable, and it was really a bit painful. When he was thinking about whether to take off his pants, Ify, who had been motionless, moved. Two strong arms stretched out, first wandering and stroking Zhou's waist, and then trying to pull off Zhou's pants. At this time, Zhou certainly cooperated, allowing her to take off Zhou's pants. After this line of defense was removed, Zhou's white genuine CK underwear was in front of everyone, but this was of course not the point. The point is to take a small thing that holds up the waistband. After taking off the pants, Ify kissed Zhou's inner thigh, and the two girls on both sides also took off Zhou's shirt. After taking it off, Shabelle gave up the attack on the Aloban neck and cast her mouth on Zhou's rose red part. Our soft lips and flexible tongue teased Zhou's red spot. When she reached the other side, a slight cool feeling also stimulated this hot spot. His lower body felt like it was about to explode. Ify obviously knew Zhou's situation. It was time to take off Zhou's panties. Zhou immediately raised his hips so that she could take off his panties. This time, the mushroom head was in control. Zhou couldn't see the scene below because Millie kissed him, wandered around his neck, and then gave him a tongue kiss. But the kiss was still going on, so he could only make a pleasant sound from his throat. Ify wrapped little Jixi with her mouth below. The warmth and softness, and the flexible little tongue all stimulated his pleasure point. Sybelle was in the middle, and gave Zhou a light bite. The slight pain brought a very comfortable feeling. Obviously Sybelle mastered this very well. Zhou was touched at once. But despite this, Zhou still wanted to teach this gentle little wildcat a lesson. The hand touching her perky buttocks pinched the plump and elastic buttocks. She also moaned and then Zhou slapped it. Came again. Sybelle was attacked, and bit Zhou again in revenge. Millie kissed for a while, then took off her bra, and two white and tender full breasts appeared. She smiled seductively at Zhou, came behind him, and moved her plump breasts against his body for a few times. She kissed Zhou's vertebrae from top to bottom. Ify was obviously not to be outdone. She moved in her mouth, and gave Zhou a deep throat from time to time, and continued to tease little Jixi with her flexible little tongue. More than 20 minutes had passed, and the professional skills of the three people seemed to make Zhou experience incomparable comfort. There is no need to consider women's thoughts, nor to take care of their sensitive points, just enjoy the pleasure they bring. This feels really great. After a few minutes, Zhou was almost unable to bear it under the three-sided attack. The muscles on his feet began to react again, and his body began to stiffen and tremble. The girls obviously knew that he was about to climax. If he increased the speed of swallowing, Sybelle also stimulated Zhou from time to time, and Millie licked and sucked on Zhou's tailbone. Oh my god. Zhou shouted and surrendered. Then he sat on the bed and panted. Ify went to the bathroom to spit out the liquid, rinsed her mouth casually, and washed her teeth. Lying on the bed with a blank mind, Zhou didn't want to move, and the two people who were still on the bed would still tease him from time to time. When Ify came out, Zhou had recovered. This time, he followed the two people who had already taken off all their clothes on the bed and started a real hand-to-hand fight. While eating Sybelle's upper body, the younger brother served Millie's lower body. His waist was like a motor, pumping rapidly, and the speed stimulated Millie to pant. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, he kept shouting. Zhou had obviously come once, and with deliberate patience, he had two people in a row, and after sending them to the clouds, Zhou himself couldn't stand it anymore. In the end, he wanted to solve Ify as well, but obviously his condition didn't allow him to do it again. Friction generates heat, which is the law of all things on earth, and Zhou is no exception. Although the younger brother was half hard at this time, it was obviously very hot. At such a fast speed just now, if Zhao didn't rest and came again, he would definitely lose a layer of skin. What should I do now? Ignoring the two women who were already enjoying the afterglow of the climax on the bed, Zhao asked Ify, who was just behind and helping to push. Ify was stunned for a moment. Why don't you try soaking it in an ice bucket? Zhao mind suddenly emerged, holding a barrel of champagne, and then putting his brother in it. This feeling is really a bit weird. After thinking about it, he looked at her with a strange expression on his face. Okay, I admit it's not a good idea, Ify shrugged and said. Seeing that Ify was not reliable, Zhao didn't count on him, but he remembered that there seemed to be ice cubes in the refrigerator. Although it felt weird to put it in the barrel, he could take the ice out and make an ice pack for application. Good idea. So under the eyes of Ify and Mirasable, Zhao walked naked to the freezer in the room. He also took a piece of his own clothes, opened the refrigerator, took out the ice cubes and put them on the clothes, and then packed them up, and Zhao put it on his brother. Wow, cool. The cool breath brought down the temperature of little Jess's red and hot body that was rubbed. After understanding this, he saw that there was still milk in it. Feeling thirsty, he also picked up a plate of milk and drank it. At this time, Zhao drank very manly, and the white milk flowed along the corners of his mouth and flowed onto his body. Suddenly, a manly breath became very strong. Ify was also feeling uncomfortable at this time. Seeing this scene, her eyes were also shining. She walked over according to her heart, and her naked body pressed against Zhao back, and her two plump lumps rubbed against his back. Zet, you little goblin is not fed well. He stopped drinking milk and turned his head to Ify, who was licking his earlobe, and said. So he was afraid that the skin might be broken if he continued to exercise. So Zhao took her to the bathroom, walked into the bathtub filled with water, and the third battle came again. Zhao was very happy throughout the night, and he also realized what the ancients said. There are only cows that die of exhaustion, but no fields that are damaged by plowing. Chapter 126. After exercising again in the morning, Zhao went to take a bath refreshed. Looking at the three beauties on the bed, a sense of pride rose in his heart. Let's show off our country's prestige. He looked at the electronic timetable in the room, and it was almost time to go to the company. Regardless of the eyes of several people, he took off the bath towel, took out clean clothes from the bag, and put them on. He clapped his hands and said to several people, ladies, I have booked a room here for 3 days. You can enjoy it to your heart's content. I have something to do now, so babies, I'm leaving first. Huh. The girls cheered and seemed to be in a good mood. Four Seasons Hotel San Francisco is located in the center of San Francisco. It is a business-friendly hotel within walking distance of the Museum of Crafts and Folk Art, Moscone Convention Center and San Francisco Visitor Center. Oh, Four Seasons Hotel San Francisco. Guests. Free access to the adjacent Sports Club Los Angeles gym. Guests can go swimming in the indoor pool, or participate in some group fitness classes, and then go to the spa to relax with a massage. There is a restaurant and room services available 24 hours a day. Most importantly, the hotel offers a full range of spa health services, including body treatments, facials, and beauty services. The rooms at the Four Seasons Hotel in San Francisco are equipped with flat-screen TVs and iHome docking stations. You can enjoy a deep soaking bathtub and a safe large enough to accommodate a laptop. In addition, the Four Seasons restaurant at the Four Seasons Hotel serves steak-style dishes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Guests can also taste the restaurant's menu that changes according to the seasons and enjoy local California wines at the same time. Some of these are free, while others are charged, but since Zhou said so, of course, no matter whether it is charged or not, it will be recorded on him in the end. So the girls are happy, and have good reasons. There are not many opportunities to meet a young, handsome, and rich man in this industry. There are many who don't look good, of course. These people are generous. It's just that people like Zhou are really rare. He is handsome, young, and energetic, and his figure and body are also top-notch. These can make many girls rush to him without hesitation. What's more, he is a diamond bachelor, although it is impossible to become a boyfriend or girlfriend. But having more dates is also a treat. So the 3 people on the bed heard Zhao Jixi say that he had booked for 3 days. They knew what he meant. Obviously, he still wanted them while he was still here. They all stayed to accompany him. Of course, they would not worry about the price. When they saw the watch Zhao Jixi was wearing, they knew that any hair Zhao Jixi plucked was thicker than their thighs. After getting dressed, they looked at Shabair and Afi, who were still making seductive gestures towards them. He smiled dumbly. "You 2 sluts." He walked over and kissed them for a long time before walking out. At 10 o'clock in the morning, Zhao Jixi explained to his room butler that the consumption of the women in the room would be recorded in his account. He also gave him a prepaid check and also set a consumption limit. He is not a fool. He can be generous, but he certainly cannot be a sucker. He still has to explain the money, and this is normal in the United States. It's just that I'm afraid that one of the girls doesn't understand and really takes it casually, which is a big loss. "Okay, sir, I understand," the housekeeper said politely, without any other expression on his face. He did not inquire about these women. Not bad, very professional. It makes sense to spend more money. Zhao Jixi sighed and said, "Of course, a moderate amount of excess is acceptable. You should weigh it specifically. I don't want everyone to be unhappy at that time. Do you understand?" "Understood, sir. But, that's it." Zhao Jixi smiled at the housekeeper and looked at his watch. "It's time to set off. Is the car back?" The car rental company has driven the car over and is now parked downstairs. "Well, very good. That's it. You go and do your work. I'll leave first." Zhao Jixi waved his hand and said, "Okay, sir," the housekeeper said and walked away. Arriving downstairs, the waiter handed the car keys to Zhao Jixi. The car had been driven over by the parking boy. The waiter opened the car door, and Zhao Jixi walked in and gave him a tip. Jay Chou didn't ask the company to send a car, because this time he came to the United States to play games and have fun. The company didn't have any sports cars, and other cars were obviously not stylish enough. Jay Chou didn't have the plan to buy one for the time being, and he didn't have much liquidity recently. So, he didn't want to buy one recently. Anyway, it would be very convenient to buy one when he wanted to buy one. So he just rented a car, which was convenient and saved money. He could also play with several kinds of cars. As long as their company had them, he could rent them to play with. It saved time and money. It is a handmade, exotic American sports car. Bright red paint, beautiful and gorgeous body, line shape full of speed. It fully shows the style that Jay Chou wanted. It has a 4.6 liter displacement and 320 horsepower V8 engine made by Ford, which can not only quickly increase the speed from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.9 seconds. The most important thing is that it is not only a sports car, but also a daily car for the family. When Zhao Jixi read the introduction, he already liked it. So he rented it and drove it in San Francisco this time. The wheels rubbed against the ground, and it drove out. Zhao Jixi looked at the navigation in the car, followed the route map it gave, and started driving towards the direction of the game company. At 10:30, he arrived at the company gate. Andy and several other managers and the heads of the development team were waiting for him at the door. After parking the car, Zhao Jixi walked towards them. After exchanging greetings with a few people, they walked into the company together. The company is now different from the original one. 2 beautiful girls have been replaced at the front desk. They look good, and Zhao Jixi nodded to Andy with satisfaction. Andy also enthusiastically introduced the current company to him. After all, after some modifications, it is no longer the same as before. However, Zhao Jixi is a little vague about what it looked like before, because he really doesn't have much impression. The original company's location became an office space, and the development team moved to a large warehouse that had just been rented nearby. They renovated the warehouse and divided it into several parts. According to the original idea, the largest part was the Angry Birds development room, and the others were intended for future games shaped like birds. Chapter 127 Bird Project. With Andy's in-depth explanation, Jay Chou got to know more about the company. The company has now established a marketing department, an operations department, a public relations department, and a licensing department that is still being planned. As for the development team, there is only one for now, but Andy has done a good job in talent reserve. Now there are quite a few people in reserve, and the boss is rich, which is good. There is no need to worry about any funding issues, and you can stand in a relatively high position at the beginning. For similar companies, this is ahead of the times. And if the boss is still a decay, then the speed will be even faster. As soon as Zhou talked to Andy, Andy started to act according to his wishes. There was no need for any meeting review, nor did he need to persuade anyone. Everything was carried out according to Zhou's will. Perhaps this model is very risky, but who says he has money, and the others are just working for him? Boss, we now have more than 100 members in the development team, and the implementation of the bird plan is much faster than originally expected. We have acquired several 2D and 3D game development companies, as well as physical development technology studios, etc., to strengthen the company's development capabilities. Sitting in the office, Andy reported to Zhou. At the same time, he handed him the document. Zhou flipped through it and took a look. After a while, he put it down. He also understood the situation and changes in the company. At present, our operations department, marketing department, public relations department, and authorization department, except for the marketing department, which I'm the agent of, the officials of other departments have not yet arrived. These need to be decided by you, boss. Andy began to say, well, go on. At present, we have already selected several candidates through headhunting companies and internal selections. Boss, you can take a look. It's on the third page of the folder. Zhou wandered around. He just took a casual look just now and was going to go back and ask Zhou and other staff advisors to take a look. If there are any problems, they will know it after they see it. But of course I can't tell you now. Well, I have some impression. Please give me a copy of the detailed information later. If there are no problems, I will have an interview in 2 days. Ram from the development team also reported one after another and gave Zhou the finished trial version. When the game came to Zhou, in the astonished eyes of others, Zhou got the hang of it after just a few tries and played it very well, passing a level in just a few tries. And it was always easy to find the weak points of the level and beat the piglet in a few tries. In less than half an hour, Zhou finished all the levels of the trial version. He put down his phone and stretched his waist. Well, not bad. But after watching for a while, the people sitting next to him suddenly stopped moving, and Zhou turned his head in surprise and looked at them. These people were looking at him with surprise at this time, especially the members of the development team. Boss, you are amazing. It's so fast. Yeah, boss, how did you do it? Although it's a trial version, the difficulty of the later levels is not so easy to pass. If the people in the development team didn't know that Zhou had never played it, they wouldn't be so surprised. Zhou smiled. I'm its creator. I have imagined how to play it countless times in my dreams, and the previous levels are also provided by me. Some of them may not be my ideas, but it's still the same principle, so it's simple. Wow. Papa. Applause rang out in the conference room. Haha, thank you. Thank you everyone. Zhou stood up and thanked him, stretched out his hands, and pressed them down. The voices in the conference room gradually quieted down. Although you did a good job, I'm still not satisfied with some places. I hope you can improve it as soon as possible. Next, Zhou listed the differences between Angry Birds and the first version he played. Some are good and some are not good. Zhou talked about them one by one. But boss, these can't make it perfect. Why should? Decathlon pointed, and Zhou listed some good aspects. Decathlon couldn't help but want to ask Zhou. This time Zhou didn't speak and looked at Andy. He hoped that he would answer this question as the CEO of this game company. If he didn't know that there was no meaning in this regard, Zhou would directly tell him to get out. This can be regarded as a test for him. After all, he really doesn't understand these things. If even his professional people don't understand, then what's the point of opening this company? But Andy obviously didn't let him down. He rolled his eyes and said, based on the App Store platform, an imperfect game is a good game. This sentence set the tone. Then he said, its constantly updated mode is very important for the continuous improvement of the game. On the one hand, the game needs new content or new modes to retain players. On the other hand, updating the game is also a magic weapon to arouse old players' renewed attention to this game. Very good. Well said, Andy. Zhou praised him and looked at Decathlon. So, do you understand? Decathlon digested what Andy said, thought about it, and said to Zhou, I understand, boss. But, I like people who know how to think. I hope you really understand. After saying this, Zhou looked at Andy. He whispered to him, who is the person sitting in the back with yellow hair and a bit of a ruffian? When Decathlon asked this person just now, he showed a disdainful smile. It seems that he thinks that he has to ask such an idiotic question, which is simply the level of a primary school student. He is the other person I mentioned, Carl's. Oh, that's him. Zhou showed an expression of understanding. Boss, Andy was a little confused, and the boss asked about him. Haha, he's a great guy. What do you think? Zhou looked at him with a deep look. I've already told you whether he's great or not. Why are you asking me again? But Andy still smiled and said, haha, yes, a good guy. Looking at the employees, one by one, they digested what Andy said and looked towards Zhou one after another. Feeling the gazes of the crowd, he started talking about Angry Birds again. But after that, he brought up another hot topic. I now have a few more game ideas, and I want to make them. Ah! Exclaimed. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 128, New Game Development. In the conference room, everyone was exclaiming at Zhou's generosity. Obviously, developing a new game is very expensive. After Zhou launched a bird project, he actually planned to develop other games, and several of them, which was really amazing. Some employees were afraid that the company would go bankrupt if they were not careful. Then they would have to go out and find a new job in this bad year. This was really uncomfortable, but they obviously knew that they could not do anything. It was good to have such a rich boss, but sometimes the boss's desperation was also very shocking. If this really happened, if they were not careful, then wouldn't it be? That wouldn't it be? Although everyone in the company was optimistic about Angry Birds, it was obvious that they didn't know how much money this thing could make. Not to mention other income in the future. The income from some peripheral licensing alone would be more than $50 million a year. This is also because the original company was not very big and their initial promotion was obviously not done well, so they could not play it to its due value later and could only rely on the accumulation of popularity, and it took a while for it to explode. Although Zhou didn't know these, it didn't prevent him from knowing that this game was very popular and profitable. And the other games he wanted to develop were also very popular games at that time. But now Fruit Ninja is the most important. It and Angry Birds seem to have come out at the end of 2009 and a few months before 2010. Zhou must make it as soon as possible. If they dare to come out, they will be copycat products. Zhou has also asked Andy to take care of the copyright and domain name of the bird so that he can have the upper hand in the law, so that no matter whether he has to sue in the future, Zhou will be invincible. For these companies that pirated him, Zhou can only say sorry. Who told him to remember these money-making things? Others, except Apple and Google, are only Facebook and Twitter. Okay, stop, everyone be quiet, Andy stood up and said. Seeing the executive speaking, they also stopped quickly. Compared to the possible crisis of leaving in the future, if they talk too much now, they may not be able to wait until the company goes bankrupt, and they will be fired now. Seeing that they have calmed down, Zhou started to talk about several games he wanted to develop, but he only talked about them in general. The details will be discussed with the development team, to be established at that time. Now these are just general. The specific ones are what I said. I even thought of the names of the games. They are talking Tomcat, Temple Escape, and Fruit Swordsman. I don't like the devilish thing about ninjas. Of course Naruto doesn't count. Just like Sora Aoi is the world. I mean the same thing. Okay, that's about it. Oh my god, that's about it. There are already 3 games, plus the bird. It will be 4. You still say that's about it? What kind of brain is the boss? Almost everyone complained. However, there are also some who don't care about these things, and their thoughts are a little different from this. The boss's ideas seem to be pretty good. These games can all target certain aspects, especially the one about cutting fruits with a sword, which sounds very attractive. Recently, you may have some impression of the bloated staff in the development department. In fact, at that time, I was preparing to develop a new game. So I asked Andy to start reserving personnel. Now I intend to divide a small part of the development team to develop new games. Zhou looked at everyone and said, and after he finished speaking, everyone suddenly realized and showed an expression of I see. In fact, some smart people have already thought of it. After all, it is not necessary for a game to require so many people. It's just that they initially thought that they were asked to develop other series of Angry Birds games. Unexpectedly, the boss's plan was even more ambitious. Sure enough, those who can become bosses are different. In fact, Zhou didn't have so many ideas. At the beginning, he was going to develop other series of Angry Birds games. It's just that he didn't expect that he suddenly remembered it in his mind. Anyway, he has made one, so it doesn't matter if he makes a few more. I recently looked at the resumes and performance of some of you, and I think we should not look for other development team leaders. We should choose from within the company. After saying that, some people's eyes lit up, and they felt that they should all have a chance, so they became active. However, Zhou asked everyone to disperse, and the following was some personal interviews. But Decathlon and Carl stayed, and everyone looked at them differently, knowing that they might be the ones responsible for the development of the new game. Decathlon was a little nervous, but Ram gave him an encouraging look. Ram still cared about his younger brother. Although he always argued with him at work, it was all for work, and he would not say anything. And this time Decathlon might become the new person in charge, and Ram was still very happy for him. After everyone else left, there were only Andy and Zhou, as well as Decathlon and Carl's in the conference room. Seeing that the two were still standing there, Zhou said to them, "Sit down. You may have guessed why I asked you to stay. But don't be happy too soon. This is just the beginning, guys. Do you understand?" Zhou looked at them with a serious look. "I understand, boss." The two were not fools. They still cherished this opportunity. Not to mention the salary increase. If they do a good job after becoming a team leader, the company will also give them original shares as a reward. This is what is important. Okay, don't be so nervous. Relax a little. Zhou gave a sunny smile to the two serious and nervous people. Then he took out a few pieces of paper from his pocket, took out 2 of them, and handed them to them. "This is the game idea I thought of, and the rules I imagined, etc. Take a look." And his mouth couldn't help but twitch. The paper, or the kind that was torn off in the hotel. If anyone dares to hand this to me, I will definitely tell him to get out with the paper. Go back and write a neat and tidy copy and come back. Unfortunately, if this person is the boss, if he dares to say this, he will probably be the one to get out. The two of them also picked up one and read it. Although some parts were not detailed and some parts had some problems with the text, they could accept it and enjoyed it. Because what was written on it was really interesting. As long as they thought about it, they felt it was a great idea. Chapter 129. Zhou was busy with the game company for 2 days. It was only after he called Zhou, Harvey and others to help that he was able to handle it faster. First, 2 development teams were reorganized in the company, led by Decathlon and Carl's. Decathlon made the talking tomcat, and Carl's made the fruit swordsman. This was also a comprehensive decision, based on the conditions of the 2 people and their understanding of creativity. Finally, the 2 were asked to recruit team members. There is no rush for other games for the time being. They will be made after this busy period. Then there is the recruitment of other departments of the company. In the future, the officials of these departments will be very important. They are the core for the company's brand operation and market. Therefore, Zhou Jixi attaches great importance to ability. He found his own staff and advisory group to consult on this matter. It can be said that there is strength in numbers. Several people screened them from the information given by the headhunter and finally selected a few people. After interviewing them separately, they decided, in the future, the company's model will not be dominated by Andy alone. The other departments will have their own heads, although Andy seems to be the boss. But the one who really made the decision was still Zhou Jixi. This was also the advice from the staff. Zhou Jixi didn't like these things, but there was no way. Sometimes people in the underworld had to be on guard. And you have to be good to your employees. That is, don't give them the opportunity to make mistakes and loopholes. People's desires are sometimes always based on reason. So Zhou Jixi also understood the meaning of the staff and humbly accepted their opinions. Oh, this company's affairs are really troublesome. I should have invested in one earlier and waited for the money. What's going on now? I don't even work so hard on the farm. Zhou Jixi complained to Zhou, Harvey, David and others who were sitting in the office. Zhou, you should be content. You are annoyed by this little thing. Just recruiting a few people. Look how tired you are. As if we are solving all the problems. Zhou said with a smile. Haha, this is not the first time you have seen the boss's character. What's wrong, Zhou? I think you are envious of the boss's life. Harvey said teasingly. Shut up, Harvey, Zhou said. Of course I envy the rich man's life. I'm so busy, but I just want to earn more, so that I can enjoy it in the future. I plan to retire at the age of 35, if I'm lucky in the future. He said with a longing face. Zhou, 35 is still very young. You want to rest so early, and you have to save enough now. I'm a woman. As long as I have enough money, I will buy a villa facing the sea and find a man who loves me. This life will be beautiful. Zhou looked like a fangirl, and she looked happier and happier. Unfortunately, she felt a little disappointed at the end. What a pity about the money. After saying that, she looked at Zhou Jixi with a resentful face. Don't worry, if you look at me like this, I won't give you a raise. It will destroy the team's salary structure. Zhou Jixi said hurriedly, but looking at her resentful eyes. Oh, you're still looking? Then I'll give you an idea. Either you come to my game company again and work as a legal consultant there. Anyway, it's pretty simple. Just some small matters, and other matters can be solved by Harvey's law firm. He adjusted his body and said, I just thought of this. What do you think? There is such a good thing. Zhou was surprised all of a sudden. Obviously, he didn't expect that his eyes could have such an effect. Zhou Jixi nodded. Yeah, great. I agree. This is a good thing. Zhou cheered and then said, I just wanted to say that I also used all my savings to buy Apple stocks, but I'm afraid that I will be unlucky if I lose it with you. In fact, Zhou Jixi also intended to let Zhou go to the company to set up a legal advisory group. There is no need to do anything big, just like before. Just help him keep an eye on the company. Although the company is very stable now, according to the habit of the Chinese, they still like to insert one of their own people so that people can feel more at ease. Obviously Zhou Jixi is no exception. Since Zhou agreed, Zhou Jixi was relieved. In addition, she had been working in the company these days, so she was familiar with some of the senior executives. There was no need to reintegrate, since there were many new people anyway. Boss, it seems that our game company is still called the name of the previous company, Zhou said. Really? I don't know. Looking at Zhou Jixi's puzzled expression, Zhou was really sure that his boss really didn't know what his company was called, or he had never memorized the company's name. Boss, what did you call it before? Oh, haha. It's the game company. It's concise and clear, and everyone knows it once it's said. Zhou and Harvey both looked defeated, and even David, who was usually calm, couldn't help laughing at this time. Boss, you are so handsome. Really? I think so too. Haha. You have good taste. Zhou's face twitched again. Do you think I'm trying to compliment you? Of course, I'm the boss. If you dare to say anything sarcastic, I will fire you. Zhou Jixi said this without any shame, and even said it with his chest and head held high. At this moment, Zhou laughed hurriedly. Oh. Haha, of course I'm complimenting the boss. The boss is really born with beauty, taller than Pan, Changjiang, more handsome than Zhou, Ben's Han. He is really a handsome guy. Haha, it's okay. It's not as good as you said, although it sounds a bit weird, but I like it. Oh haha. Mr. Zhao said politely, and couldn't help laughing. It seems that I have to think of a name. I will think about it when I go back tonight. The few people discussed the stock issue for a while, and then started talking about the Apple stock Zhao bought. Zhao entered the market when the price was 140, and then he began to enter the Apple stock market when the price was 160. He also raised the price of the stock by several dollars. Now Apple stock has risen to 1819, and it is still appreciating. Looking at the people close to him, Zhao also deliberately suggested, if you have spare money, you can try to buy some. Looking at Jobs' arrangements over the years, it has provided profits for Apple, and the profits are still growing. Add to that his tablet computer plan. This is simply great. Harvey smiled at Zhao and said, boss, I did buy some, but not much, and the money is in the stocks of other companies. Me too, I bought some. Not as much as Zhao. David also said, haha, I hope you don't envy Zhao in the future. Zhao said mysteriously. Chapter 130 Transition. Another morning, Zhao opened his eyes with sleepy eyes. He broke free from the encirclement of the plump buttocks on the bed, and looked at the lovely people on the bed. Suddenly, Zhao felt that these days were really a bit absurd. But it's very enjoyable. He smiled and touched Tiffy's exposed peak. In addition to the company's work, Zhao went to San Francisco with a few people these days. In the evening, he went to nightclubs, and then went to some friends' places to attend parties. Among them, Huang Deling, who he had just met. Zhao played the craziest with him. The three girls followed him, and Zhao left footprints everywhere. They were still very happy about all this, and they obviously liked these opportunities to expand their business. However, despite this, they also knew the priorities, which was why Zhao did not object to taking them with him. Smart women are also very marketable, aren't they? After playing Inheritance with Huang Deling, the friendship between the two has also improved, and now at least it is the level of Fox friends. As for the game company, Zhao saw that the framework was set up, so he just let them do whatever they wanted. Anyway, they couldn't turn the tables. Zhao really didn't want to play anymore. Although he could make money, it was a bit annoying. He couldn't help but complain in his heart. Damn it, I have so much money, but I still have to torment myself like this. What's wrong with me? I might as well go back to the farm. The green mountains and clear waters, the days of riding horses and herding sheep, really make people miss it. After thinking about it, Zhao opened some curtains, and the sunlight shone in through the glass. He put his hand on his forehead to block the sunlight. He looked down at the busy traffic below, and the steel torrents passed by, and the pedestrians were all in a hurry. Suddenly, he felt a little emotional, and said to himself, it's time to go back. I don't know how Zhu Feng and Wan Ke are doing at home. After staying in San Francisco for a few days, Zhao took the time to run back to the farm, looked at Wan Ke and the others, and rode the arrogant Zhu Feng. His mood relaxed all of a sudden. The farm had made him feel at home unconsciously. Looking at everything on the grassland, Zhao could say with certainty that wherever he looked was his territory. Seoul International Airport in South Korea. Zhao wore a pair of sunglasses and a set of casual clothes from an international brand. He was very coquettish with a pink diamond earring. He carried a fashionable small bag on his back, and his outfit simply blinded the eyes of passers-by. Just because of his coquettish look, he was very popular. Under the jealous eyes of the men, Zhao walked calmly. Some girls in the airport took out their mobile phones and took pictures of Zhao. Although it was a bit sneaky, how could Zhao not feel it? It was just that this guy was very proud at the moment, and his showy personality was fully satisfied. However, after a few people put away their mobile phones and took out their SLR cameras, he became a little uneasy. This woman's eating manner is too ugly. So blatant. He glanced at the other side. Well, she's just average looking. Forget it. I won't bother with you. It's a waste of time. He was still looking forward to meeting a beautiful woman, and then chatting with her, and then some inevitable things in life would happen, and the whole show would be perfect. Be careful, a woman will give birth to a child, and come to you to call her daddy. Hearing the voice in his ear, Zhao Jixi screamed ah, and the thought what's going on flashed in his mind. He immediately looked up, and saw Li Shuang appeared at some point. Keep up your image, keep up your image. He silently said a few words. Zhao Jixi looked at Li Shuang with a frown on his face. When did you show up? You are so amazing, that you can even sneak. You just showed up. Li Shuang hit Zhao Jixi and then said, I saw you a long time ago. You were so naughty all the way. You were only paying attention to those little girls. How could you, Mr. Zhao, have time to see me? I'm just 100 meters in front of you. When he was angry, he pointed at Zhao Jixi with his finger. Now I know that you don't even look at people straight in the eye. You just ignored me, a living person in front of you. After hearing his words, Zhao Jixi knew that he was so naughty just now that he had reached the state of forgetting himself. He quickly looked up at the sky. Oh, well, it seems to be getting dark. It may rain. Let's go back and collect the clothes. After that, he rushed away. Ali Shuang looked up and thought it was really going to rain, but a moment later, this is the airport, bastard. But after saying this, Zhao Jixi walked faster. Wait for me. Hey. On the road in Gangnam district, Seoul, Zhao Jixi looked at Li Shuang with a gloomy face, pretending to be a grandson all the way. Seeing that he was almost home, he would be able to revive with full blood on the spot after seeing his godmother, and he was immediately excited. Li Shuang knew what he was thinking with a glance, so he said lightly, my mother went to a friend's place today. Zhao Jixi pulled out a long tone, and his heart suddenly sank. Well, I guess I have to pretend to be a grandson today. He looked at Li Shuang carefully. Well, Master Li, how about we discuss it? Li Shuang, with his eyes slightly narrowed, looked at him and said no way. I haven't finished talking about mine yet. You should listen to it. No way. You. Just like that, Zhao Jixi stayed at Li Shuang's house again, and after resting for 2 days, he set off to return to China. After drinking the full moon wine at home, he went back to the American farm to live for a while, because he has been traveling too much recently. Except for the fruit forest and watermelon forest, the other things on the farm have not been developed. It's time to go back and think about what else can be done. Zhao Jixi was bored that day, so he thought about calling Sunny and asking them to come out and talk. So he took action and picked up the phone. Soon Sunny picked up the phone and said with a slightly surprised tone, Oppa, you're back. Haha, yes, how is Sunny recently? Not bad. It's just that I'm a pound heavier than before. Sunny was speechless after seeing that she had gained a pound more than a few days ago. While he was still listening, there was no sound. Zhao Jixi thought the line was disconnected or the signal was bad. So he asked tentatively, hello, why is there no sound? Sunny, are you still there? Chapter 131 Guilty? Oppa, I'm here. Sunny replied quickly and tried to change the subject. Let's not talk about me. Oppa, how are you doing recently? I'm fine. I'm done with my work and I feel relaxed now. Oh, Sunny, come out for a cup of coffee when you're free. Oppa brought you a gift and I wanted to give it to you personally this time. It's Oppa's compensation for the last time. Sunny was upset when Hua heard this. Oppa wants to see me and he's alone. Does that mean he wants to date me? Oh my god, this, what should I do? Should I agree to him or not? Sunny blushed and thought about it. Sunny? Here. Haha, you little girl, Oppa is talking. You always talk in paragraphs. It's okay for me. If you do this to other people, what will you do in the future? Sunny. Really? Oppa? She called out in a disgusting way. Zhao Jixi's bones were almost softened by the call. Then he continued, don't we still have you? Although I've only known Oppa for a short time, I know Oppa will definitely not ignore me. Sunny didn't feel like she was being taught a lesson, and she even acted like a spoiled child to Jay Chou. Okay, you little girl, I really can't do anything with you. Okay, when are you free? Jay Chou said helplessly to Sunny. Hey, opera is the best. I don't have any notice in the evening. Sunny was simply smiling like a flower at this time. Well, then, okay, that's it. I'll wait for you at Love Coffee then. Okay, I got it, oppa. Oh, I almost forgot. It's all your fault. Jay Chou patted himself. I'm asking you, is Yuri free at that time? Ah, yes, we have the same schedule. Sunny felt a sense of regret after blurting out the words. Oh, then call her too, so I don't have to go on an appointment again. Then I'll have to trouble Sunny. Ah, call Yuri too. I thought it was just us. Sunny hated herself for being so rude at this moment. She said such words as soon as they came out of her mouth. Why didn't she close the door? And she couldn't say what she wanted to say. Ah, Sunny, speak louder. Can't Oppa hear you? Oh, it doesn't matter. If you can't hear me, I'll call Yuri, then Oppa. That's it. I'm hanging up. A beep sound suddenly came from the phone, and Jay Chou reacted. Axie, you actually hung up on me. This is Korea. How dare you hang up on Oppa? Girls' generation dormitory today. Unilin happened to have no announcements, so she took a rest in the dormitory. She didn't have much free time, but after a while, she heard noises from the living room in her room. With a gossipy mind, she opened the door and listened secretly. Ah, it's the legendary Oppa. She listened more seriously immediately, but when she heard Sunny say that she wanted to meet, her expression became strange. Later, when she said that she would take Yuri with her, she returned to normal. However, after hearing the news, she couldn't help but have some plans in her mind, and a fox-like smile appeared on her pretty face. Sunny in the living room was feeling depressed at this time. Oppa is really humph. She said it for a long time and finally blushed and didn't say what she wanted to say. Hi, she sighed, looking at the image of Yuri on the wall. Her eyes were a little strange, but since she has already agreed, Sunny will still do it. Besides, she has been sisters with Yuri for such a long time. They also experienced the Black Sea together. The two of them lived in the same dormitory room, encouraged each other, and confided in each other. Sunny really can't do what the villains do in TV dramas. Oppa, Zhao Jixi muttered very resentfully. Li Shuang's house. Zhao Jixi had just finished the call when he saw his godmother coming back with a woman. He felt a little impressed by this woman. Zhao Jixi thought about it and knew that this person seemed to be Sunny's mother. No wonder she felt a bit like Sunny. Suddenly, a guilty feeling emerged. He was just flirting with someone else's woman, and now her mother came. This feeling is really a bit weird. After the two came in, they also saw Zhao Jixi sitting on the sofa in the living room. He was wearing a casual home outfit, holding an Apple phone in his hand, and a cup of coffee with thin smoke in front of him. At this moment, he suddenly felt like a homely nobleman in a TV series, and the whole person looked very shining. If he is beaten up again, it would be even better if his head is covered with lumps, which is very Buddhist. Now that he has met someone, he has to face his guilty conscience. Zhao Jixi stood up quickly and took 2 steps forward. He said stiffly in Korean, "Godmother, you're back. This is Mrs. Lee. I saw you last time. I didn't expect you to still look so beautiful." Haha, Jixi didn't go out for a walk today. Come on, don't stand, sit down, Godmother said with a smile. Oh, really? That's a compliment. Haha. Mrs. Lee is right, you sit down too. Mrs. Lee laughed happily after hearing this and greeted Zhao Jixi more enthusiastically. But the look in her eyes when she looked at Zhao Jixi was a little strange, and there was a hint of something unusual in her eyes. But the more she looked at Zhao Jixi, the happier she became. After a few polite words, they sat down. Jess has just learned Korean by himself recently, and his speech is a little strange. I hope you don't mind, Godmother said to Sunny's mother. No, I think Mr. Zhao speaks quite well. I remember that, when we met last time, Mr. Zhao didn't know Korean yet. This progress is really amazing. Sunny's mother also hurriedly said politely, but she really admired Zhao Jixi's language talent. Oh. Haha. I just learned it casually recently. I think it's just average. There are still many things I don't know. I need to keep working hard. The godmother proudly said modestly to Sunny's mother. Zhao Jixi felt a little flattered. After all, the person in front of him felt a little different to Zhao Jixi. No, you're too kind. For this sentence, Zhao Jixi said it a beat slower than normal conversation, and only then did he pass. This is the use of his recently developed artifact, and this function is what Zhao Jixi recently developed from space, and he named it the function of global language communication. Using the time difference between space and reality, he asked the little fairy to hold several translation tools. For this great discovery, Zhao Jixi admired himself very much. Chapter 132, Why Women Make Things Difficult for Other Women. After Zhao Jixi heard the words, he used his consciousness to transmit them to the goblins in the space and opened a conversation window for them as necessary. Then they quickly translated the words inside. Then he told Zhao Jixi the meaning of the sentence, and then translated what Zhao Jixi wanted to say into Korean, and transmitted it back to Zhao Jixi. Finally, Zhao Jixi said it out. This was also what Zhao Jixi came up with when he was struggling with language books. He directly put the pain on the goblins, and as long as he paid more for the wine, the goblins would be extremely happy. They fought hard for this job. It was much more comfortable than struggling by himself. Although there were some shortcomings, Zhao Jixi was also working hard to improve it. Some goblins had been arranged in the space to learn languages. Anyway, they were idle anyway, eating their own food and living their own lives, so it was right for them to do more things. Zhao Jixi also learned a little, using the space to accelerate, and he also struggled in it. However, the space was full of spiritual energy, and it would be easier to study in it. At that time, Zhao Jixi kept complaining, damn, if I had this, when I took the college entrance examination, I could have been admitted to Tsinghua University or Peking University in no time. Maybe in the future, I can use this to open a college entrance examination sprint class, and let everyone get into the first class universities. And those 8 languages, that can be learned in no time, they are all little KS. Li Shuang's living room, when Zhao Jixi was daydreaming, he didn't notice the strange look of Sunny's mother. This child looks good, and his temper and personality are good from the contact. My Sun Kai is so delicate. It seems that they are a good match. Mrs. Li, you can just call me Jess. We have met twice. And you are also a close friend of my godmother, and Sunny and I are also good friends. So really don't call me Mr. Zhao. Zhao Jixi was empty-minded and thought about getting in touch with this aunt. Then I'm too confident. Sunny's mother said with a smile. After all, social status is still very important in Korea. As far as she knows, Jay Chou is a big president with assets of over hundreds of millions of dollars. It would be very rude to call him that casually. No, it's my honor to meet you. You kid. The godmother scolded Jay Chou with a smile for giving him such face. Then she said to Sunny's mother, Jishan, be casual. He is just a child of mine. You are his aunt of the same generation as him. Sunny's mother also smiled and said a few words with Jay Chou's godmother, and then said to Jay Chou, then Jessie, don't call me Mrs. Lee. If you don't mind, just call me auntie. Auntie, why would I mind? I'm so happy. It's my luck to know such a beautiful and kind aunt like you. Anyway, flattery doesn't cost money. Zhao Jixi has already flattered one person, so it doesn't matter if he flatters a few more. Besides, if he does something to her daughter in the future, we will make a profit, right? Haha. Sunny's mother said with her hands covering her mouth and laughing happily. Jizen, I told you that this boy is just sweet talking. I didn't expect you to accept him. Oh, godmother, how can you say that about your son? Zhao Jixi saw his godmother exposing his past, and hurriedly said unwillingly, it seems that this boy is not bad. I will talk to my husband when I go back, unify the front, and tell Sun Kai to make sure to hold on to this good son-in-law. Sunny's mother smiled, and didn't forget to think about this. She is really a good mother. Come on. Godmother, auntie, try my coffee. It was given by an American friend. After Zhao Jixi brewed the coffee beans he had just ground, he was going to taste it himself. He just poured a cup at this time and quickly poured another one for the two. Exquisite coffee cup, rich aroma. The two had already smelled it when they came in, but they were busy talking just now, so they forgot about it. This time Zhao mentioned it. They remembered that there was such a wonderful thing next to them. Taking the coffee handed over by Zhao, the two of them sipped it and said, "Well, it smells so good. It is mellow, slightly sweet in bitterness, soft and smooth, and has a little bit of sourness, which can make the taste buds more sensitive. There is also a strange feeling that makes people linger. Yes, it has a very pure taste, and the feeling of importing it makes people feel shocked. It's a bit like the best Blue Mountain coffee, but the taste is a little different, and it tastes more comfortable. It is really great." South Korea is a country with a large consumption of coffee, so in addition to alcohol, coffee also occupies a very large proportion in Korean culture. And most Koreans also prefer to drink coffee, so it's not just pretending. The two people present were from wealthy families, so they knew the taste of coffee very well. "Oh, if auntie likes it, I'll bring some back later. I don't drink much coffee normally, so it's a bit of a waste to keep it here," Zhao said with a smile. "What's wrong with this bad boy today? So eager. If you don't drink it, I will drink it. I haven't tasted such good coffee yet, and you just gave it to me." Zhao godmother also drank it, and felt very good. It was unreasonable for Zhao to give away such a small amount of things. Sunny's mother was also moved when she heard it, and she seemed a little moved. It's just that it's a bit rude to accept a gift from a junior when they met. So she hesitated. How can I feel embarrassed? It's not good. It is cultivated in space, baked by the little goblins, and then the best drying environment is created in the space. And I tried to make it several times before I made this top quality product that suits my taste. How can it not taste good? Seeing Sunny's mother, who was tempted, Zhao of course had to give it a push. In the end, Sunny's mother couldn't persuade him and decided to accept some. Of course, for the godmother, who was a little jealous, Zhao later promised that what he gave to Sunny's mother was just a drop in the bucket, and the big part should still be given to godmother. In return, the godmother rolled her eyes, and she pulled Zhao ear, saying against her will, "Godmother, am I that kind of person? Would I mind if my friends took things from my godson that they haven't even given to me? You're pulling my ears now. Can there be more convincing evidence than this?" Although I wanted to complain, it was a pity that her ear was still in her hand. Hey, why am I doing this? One is my godmother, the other is a future mother-in-law. They are also good friends. Why is this woman making things difficult for another woman? After chatting with the two women for more than an hour, Zhao finally got out. He changed his clothes and was waiting for them in the agreed coffee shop. Chapter 133 Girl. At this time, 3 girls wearing hats and sunglasses were getting out of the car. They were walking towards the coffee shop, and they were talking quietly on the way. But judging from their expressions, one of them was a little proud, while the other two looked helpless. "Annie, what should I say after we meet that oppa?" Yuna said to Sunny and Yuri a little nervously. "Hey, Yuna, why are you so nervous now? You were determined to come just now. Why do you regret it now?" How could I? I'm just a little nervous." Yuna was stubborn. In fact, she was really nervous now. This was a person who was more powerful than the president. She was nervous when she met the director before. Not to mention this person who looked like her Cheeble son. She should be nervous and scared. She actually dared to threaten Annie. It's really unforgivable. "Sunny, let her be nervous later." Yuri said to Sunny deliberately. "Annie, please don't. I was wrong. Please don't ignore me. Otherwise, I will cry, and it will be so embarrassing." Yuna grabbed the clothes of the two people, opened her eyes wide, and looked at them cutely and said, Annie, please. See, you even used my ultimate move. Yuna, you can still be so shameless. Hey, since you are like this, hey, okay, listen to my instructions, and don't talk casually, do you hear me? Opera is very serious. Sunny started to scare, which was a punishment for this little guy. Yes, I will definitely not talk. Yuna was really nervous at this moment, and she regretted her decision just now. After hearing what Sunny said, she became happy. When she was in the dormitory, after she called herself Yuri, she kept begging me to take her with her. in order to achieve a goal, acting cute is almost a piece of cake, and in the end, she even threatened. "You defeated me." That was all Sunny and Yuri could say. The three of them entered the coffee shop and came to a specially designed hidden location in the coffee shop. Here, unless you deliberately look at it in the store, you can't see it at all. And if you want to look deliberately, you have to walk over to see the people inside. But at that time there will be a waiter there, blocking your steps. There is a VIP area that cannot be entered casually. Anyway, people can't see inside. But it's not like it's closed, it's just some decorations added. It neither destroys the overall environment of the store, nor makes guests with special needs feel that there is no good place to talk and leave the coffee shop. The combination of these two in their store is very well done, and the designer is also working very hard. After sighing, Zhou saw two people coming in, but there seemed to be a little tail following them. "Hey, who is this among the 9? Who is this?" When the waiter looked at Zhou with an inquiring look, he nodded, and then the waiter asked the one who led the way to take them to Zhou's seat. Zhou stood up and smiled gently, saying, "Come on, sit down quickly." The three of them bowed and greeted in unison. "We are girls." Linuna was so nervous that she reported her usual catchphrase. Fortunately, she reacted in time and choked back her words. "Come on, sit down, don't be so polite." Zhou smiled and said enthusiastically and helped them pull the chairs away, looking very gentlemanly. As for the one who just came, Zhou also asked her to sit down and talk. "Sunny, who is this little beauty? Why don't you help Oppa introduce her?" After doing that, Zhou used a teasing tone to help Sunny, who was a little nervous, to excuse herself. Obviously, she was a little nervous about the private meeting with several people and bringing a stranger with her. Yuri was the same. Hearing his words, "Hey, Oppa, don't blame me," Sunny immediately changed from nervousness to surprise. She also made a joke to Zhou. Seeing this, Zhou sighed that her mood fluctuated too quickly. "You silly girl," he said, touching her head, and then said, "You are afraid that I will blame you, but you still do it. What kind of brain do you have? Oppa, don't touch a girl's head casually, she is still a girl." Sunny said unwillingly. She grabbed Zhou's hand with her hand, and after he took it away, she muttered, "And you messed up my hairstyle." Yes, Sunny is still a girl, so Oppa will touch her more in the future. Otherwise when Sunny grows up and gets married, it will be even harder to touch her. Haha. He was about to take action again. Oppa. Yuri looked at the two people playing with a little envy. Although they were very good sisters, everyone likes handsome guys, and he is such a good and rich handsome guy. Although it is a bit cliché, it is still the truth. She is almost turning into the embodiment of jealousy now. Oh my god, Quan Yuri, how can you think that? God, please forgive my sins. Yuri, why are you in a daze? Zhou chatted with Sunny for a while, which was actually just a little time. He was about to greet Yuri, but unfortunately she was in a daze. But the way she is in a daze is still quite funny. Haha. Oppa, I'm sorry, it's okay. See what you want to drink, and I'll order it for you. Zhou said gently. Be gentle to girls. This is Zhou's latest theory of picking up girls. With his current status, as long as he is a good person, basically girls can be hooked. The time to use tricks has passed. Of course, it's good to use it sometimes. Who says girls like it? Well, thank you Oppa. And this beautiful girl, since they don't introduce themselves, I have to take the initiative. Hello, I'm Zhou. Since you are a good friend of Sunny and Yuri, if you don't mind, you can also call me Oppa. A warm smile like the sun, a considerate personality. Now in front of Linuna, is almost an imaginary Prince Charming. So handsome. Much more handsome than those Oppa in the company, and so gentle. And so rich. It's really a perfect type. After thinking about it, Linuna's face turned a little red, and she felt her face was hot and her heartbeat quickened. The carefree girl became nervous unconsciously, and finally she even stuttered when she spoke. Hello, I am. What's wrong with this crocodilian today? Sunny and Yuri couldn't help but have this thought. And Linuna now almost wanted to find a hole to crawl into. Her face was almost red to her neck. Oh, You seem to be that Landowner. You must be. I even took a special look at Sunny's friends. Haha. Nice to meet you. Seeing her like this, in order to avoid embarrassment, Zhou had to speak. Chapter 133 Giving Gifts. The atmosphere in the coffee shop has always been very good due to Zhou's efforts. Zhou likes to listen to things in their circle. Some of the gossip is also very funny, and after Landowner got over the initial tension for a period of time, Zhou was not so scary, so she became active. Suddenly, Sunny seemed to have discovered a new world. Oppa, you seem to have been talking to us in Korean. Ah, yes. Yuri also had a shocked expression on her face. The last time they communicated, Oppa was still speaking English. What's going on? Yuna tilted her head and looked at the shock too. Zhou also smiled, and his expression was very calm. In fact, don't be too proud in your heart. You finally found it. You are shocked, aren't you? You admire me, aren't you? Looking at the two, Zhou said helplessly, I thought you would find out as soon as you came, but I didn't expect you to find out so soon. Got. Sunny was sure that Zhou definitely couldn't speak Korean when they first met. At most, he knew some greetings. But this time, he was really a little surprised. Yuri was the same. At the beginning, the two were still nervous about bringing Yuna here secretly, and they were almost absent-minded when chatting. It was not until this moment, when the conversation became more and more relaxed, that she realized that Zhou had been speaking Korean all the time. Although the speed was a little slow, they were already able to communicate. Oppa, how did you do it? Self-study, plus rote memorization, and my memory is relatively good. I have been studying recently, and now I can basically communicate. In addition, my senses are relatively sharp, so I can also judge the general meaning of what you said from some of your actions and expressions. Landowner understood it completely at once. This Oppa seemed to be really amazing. He learns things really fast. No wonder he is so rich. It's really amazing, he said with a sigh. Wow. The three of them cooperated and exclaimed again. Okay, let's not talk about this. It's really not that difficult. I just mastered some daily vocabulary. I communicated with you by guessing. Zhou said modestly. Then Oppa is still very amazing. Sunny looked at Zhou with an idol-like look. Yes, I almost failed in language classes. Yuna also agreed. Zhou was of course happy to bear the admiring eyes of the girls. Of course, there was some admiration among them, and Zhou enjoyed it even more proudly. After drinking 1 or 2 cups of coffee, Zhou saw that the conversation was almost over. Hurry up and send the gifts out, so that we can have dinner and play in the evening. Take the gift bag next to you, and take out the 2 beautifully packaged boxes in front of several people. I bought this in the United States. I hope you like it. He smiled and handed the gifts to the 2 people respectively. Obviously, the most excited person at this moment was not the 2 people, but Landowner, who was sitting on the side. The 2 of them had gifts, but she didn't. This scene was really a bit awkward. When I came out, I was only concerned about coming to take a look, and didn't think about this. Now it seems that it would be better not to come. The 2 of them did not act pretentiously. They happily accepted Zhou's gifts and said sweetly, thank you, Oppa. Haha, open it and take a look. Zhou said. Is it really okay? Sunny asked. Didn't I say, open it and take a look? With a sound of yeah, the 2 of them started to open it. Zhou reached into the decorative bag he was carrying, and like a magic trick, he took out an identical gift box from it, handed it to Yuna and said, haha, little girl, are you disappointed? Oppa is a good person, and he hates to see people unhappy. Well, little girl, this is a meeting gift for you. Ah, Oppa, do I have one too? This. She was originally disappointed, and there was nothing she could do about it. People only prepared 2, so how could they prepare one more for no reason? But, she didn't expect Zhou to really have a gift for her. This was really a surprise. Take it. Fortunately, I bought a few more. You, little girl, are still lucky. But it's a little different from them. I hope you don't mind. Zhou said to her with a smile. No. Thank you, Oppa. The little face was so smiling, and she took the gift box without hesitation and opened it. Ah. It's a cell phone. Sunny opened the fastest, tearing open the outer packaging, revealing the cell phone box inside. Yuri also saw it. This is an Apple phone. Ah. Mine too. Yuna also said. Suddenly, Sunny and Yuri's eyes were a little resentful, looking at Zhaojixi creepily. Oppa, are you going to wholesale Apple phones? And you bought so many? Yes, although I like this gift very much, but Oppa's behavior is really too sad. Yuri said. Zhaojixi knew something was wrong when he saw the look in their eyes. They misunderstood and thought that he bought a lot of these to give to others to pick up girls. Although this is a fact, it can't be said that it's not. And what's hateful about me is that he actually took it out. Obviously, he always carries this gift box. Don't look at me like that. It's really not what you think. How can Oppa be that kind of person? Zhaojixi explained in a panic. Yes, I believe in Oppa. Yuna, who had just gotten what she wanted, obviously helped Zhaojixi. Humph. The two people who were full of resentment. Obviously, they were not from the same world as Yuna. It's really different, you and me. Oh, anyway, you can turn it on and see. Zhaojixi was helpless. Oh. They looked at Zhaojixi suspiciously, and finally they chose to believe him. In the end, the phone turned on as Zhaojixi said. Look at the back, and see if there is any difference. Zhaojixi said slowly and kindly. Hearing this, the two turned the phone over, and looked at it. Suddenly, two patterns lit up on the back. One was a smaller Q version of Sunny, and the other was a smaller Q version of Yuri, and it also lit up with the backlight. They all looked very cute, and they were very likable. There were also two names written on the bottom of the phone, and the backlight breathing light would light up as the call came in, or the phone was turned on and off. Wow, so cute. Oppa, is this me? Although she knew it must be her, Sunny still asked happily. Yuri did the same, looking at Zhaojixi happily. Of course it's you. How can others be as cute as you? How about it? This is unique in the world. I found a special craftsman and designer to make this on it. I added it without affecting the use. Ah. Women like unique things, which will satisfy their desire for possession. Thank you Oppa. Oppa is the best. Second Yuna also looked at the back, only the Apple logo, although a little disappointed, but she had already prepared for it in her heart, so she was not too sad. I like it. In the evening, Zhaojixi followed them to play around again, and then sent all three back to the dormitory. On the third day, Zhaojixi flew to China with his godmother and Li Shuang. After drinking the full moon wine, he flew directly to the United States. I've been away for so long, I need to go back and take care of it. I also need to plant the plants I recently cultivated. I have a mission this time. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 134, Mighty and Domineering. Zhou yayo, it's already past 12 o'clock. I'm really sorry for yesterday, because something delayed me. Now I have to squint my eyes to type one picture. I will try to update the others tomorrow. I sent a text message to Sunny and others about leaving, and also wrote a comment on Penguin. Zhaojixi put away his phone. After all, he was already on the plane. Seeing Li Shuang's funny eyes, Zhaojixi spit on him and went to please his godmother. From time to time, he handed her preserved fruits and snacks, fearing that she would feel uncomfortable on the plane. Ever since he knew that his godmother had always cared about him, Zhaojixi always felt guilty about her. So he would be filial to her whenever he was free, and he did better than Li Shuang. Li Shuang has been under a lot of pressure recently. Nothing can stand up to comparison, and the same goes for his son. Looking at the filial piety of the two, Li Shuang felt a toothache for no reason. What medicine did my mom take recently? You are so good at flattering. Shuang, you should learn more from me. Stop flattering and stuff. You know how to stop. You just can't grow up. Zhaojixi said seriously and old-fashionedly. Oh, you are courting death. Ah. Stop. take your hand away. This is what Godmother said. If you want to show off, go find her. Zhou Jixi said with a smug look on his face, frowned and pretended to be unhappy and said, then, take your hand away. I've said it twice. No. Oh, you are getting bolder. Then I can use my ultimate move. Zhou Jixi raised his eyebrows. But, you still have a trick. Why don't you try it? Humph. You force me to do it. I forced you. Okay. Be careful, mother. Help me. Ah, you kid. Can you be more shameless? Li Shuang, what are you doing? A roar scared Li Shuang so much that he shrank his head and pretended to help Zhou Jixi put his clothes together. Zhou Jixi squinted his eyes and laughed secretly. This time, he felt very happy to have seduced Li Shuang. The plane flew to Zhanghe International Airport. The few people did not stop. After meeting the third and fourth sisters, they took the next flight directly to Shanghai City in Fujian. The plane arrived in Shanghai again not long after, and Zhao's father and mother came to pick them up. Dad drove a Lincoln Navigator 6-seater SUV. Zhou Jixi, his sisters, and Godmother Li Shuang exchanged greetings as they left the airport. Especially the two older generations, who hadn't seen each other for so long, were still a little excited and emotional. However, when they brought Zhou Jixi's father to his car, he came to his senses. Dad looked at the surprised eyes of several people and said with a little pride, how is it? Not bad. I bought it specially considering that we have a large family. Uncle, domineering. Li Shuang looked around the car and flattered his father with a thumbs up. Wow, Dad, this is the new car you bought. So domineering. The third sister was also excited, touching the car, and said to the father, it's too big. The fourth sister frowned and said softly, girls can't do anything. A man's car should be big, so that he can drive like a man. Fourth girl, you are too quiet. Look at third girl, she looks like my daughter. Third sister has good taste. Dad is obviously very sensitive to the new baby. Dad can even hear the fourth sister's whispered comments. It's weird. Dad, now I finally know why I like this big car. It turns out there is a source. Zhou Jixi said with a look of understanding. That's right, otherwise I can be your father. Dad said as if it was a matter of course. When your dad was in the army, the car he drove was really big. It crushed everything along the way. When several people heard this, they hurriedly put away their luggage together and got in the car in a hurry. You still talk about it? I don't know how many times I have heard it since I was a child. Third sister murmured in the car. I didn't expect that my uncle would still say the same thing after so many years. Wouldn't he change his taste? Li Shuang said with a sweat on his face. He had a deep impression of this. When he first heard it as a child, he thought it was good. Unfortunately, he got annoyed after hearing it too much. At that time, when I went to Zhou Jixi's house to watch TV, my uncle always grabbed me and asked me to listen to his heroic past. I didn't get to watch Astro Boy or anything like that. Seeing his excited look, Li Shuang didn't dare to complain. So later, I almost avoided him when I saw him. There's no way. He's an old man. He's been busy all these years and hasn't done anything. This is all I can say. Although Zhou Jixi loves his father very much, it's a pity that this doesn't help him continue to suffer. Tell him to travel more with his mother in the future. I guess he won't say this then. It's time to change the excuse. Yeah, that makes sense. The third sister agreed. Oh, you guys. Dad saw that everyone ran away, and he cursed with a smile. Then he called Zhou Jixi's godmother to sit in the passenger seat and let the group of young people chat in the back. The godmother also smiled gently at this. She also knew about Zhou Jixi's father, who loved to talk about his past. The car has a lot of space, and there are 6 seats in the back, so it doesn't feel crowded for several people to sit in. The third and fourth sisters looked at the internal injuries in the car and compared it with their own Beetle. Suddenly, a sour feeling came up. A car worth millions is different. Haha, sister, if you like it, go find Jixi. He is a local rich man now. If you don't knock a little more, you will be sorry for his plump wallet. Li Shuang said to the third sister while using Zhou Jixi to swipe. Well, there is some truth. My Beetle is now. It really doesn't match your current status. The third sister nodded and then said to Zhou Jixi. Ah. What does this have to do with me? You drive. What does it have to do with my identity? Zhao Jixi pointed with his fingers, looking at the third sister in surprise. He also looked at the fourth sister for support. Of course, think about it. You are a billionaire, and your sister drives such a small broken car. Isn't it embarrassing for you? Yes. I didn't think about myself. Do you think I like nice cars? Zhao Jixi nodded. Ah, you damn Jixi. The third sister exploded. Oh, sister. Don't, is. I told you to seduce me on the plane. Retribution. Li Shuang happily watched Zhao Jixi suffer. After more than an hour's journey, the few people finally got home. Zhao Jixi also got rid of the tiger claw hand of the third sister. He also seduced Li Shuang by the way, which was considered to be clear in his mind. Chapter 135. Laughter. A few people arrived downstairs of the house. Zhao Jixi helped to take some things. They were all things that the godmother said she would bring to her mother. Some Korean beauty products, Korean kimchi, Korean ginseng, Korean electronic products, etc. There were also piles of them. Zhao Jixi had a toothache when he saw them, but he didn't dare to say anything. You can't guess what mothers think, because they are all women. Well, this joke is a bit cold. A gust of cool wind blew by. However, Zhao Jixi felt that the Korean sticks only had their representative objects, sticks, and those wild ginsengs, which were good things. Well, of course, natural beauties are also considered, and plastic surgery ones. If you don't know, it doesn't matter if you just have sex. Just like a great man said, it's the same when the lights are turned off in the bridal chamber. Of course, the premise is that the woman has a good figure. We can't just consider the little brother and ignore the touch of other limbs, right? As a person or a asterisk, you can't be too selfish, right? It's still the same place as before. I haven't been back for a few years, and I miss it a little. Godmother looked around, and the grass and trees had changed a little from the past, but not much, just some tools for the elderly to move around. However, as she spoke, her eyes became a little red. Back then, Shuang's father and I, the two of us brought a few $100 and came to this place. Shuang was born. Godmother babbled. Mom. Li Shuang was also moved, but he was a man after all, so he comforted Godmother firmly. Yes, Godmother, we are living well now, and Godfather will be happy in heaven. You. Zhao Jixi also comforted. Godmother wiped her tears and said, it's okay, I'm okay. It's just that the scene reminded me of him, and I miss him a little. But it's been so many years, and the pain has healed. Now I only hope that Shuang can find a girl as soon as possible to continue the Li family. Oh, Mom. Brother Shuang is helpless this time. The old mother is going to force him to abdicate. We are such a young man. We haven't had enough fun in this world. How can we bury ourselves in the grave of marriage? Just kidding. I'm willing, but thousands of beautiful girls won't. Well, Godmother is right. I will definitely help with things. And I will ask my sisters to ask them. Zhao Jixi openly comforted his godmother, but actually he started to seduce Li Shuang. As soon as he finished speaking, Li Shuang was gritting his teeth behind his back. Well, Jixi is still a good boy. Shuang just has a childish temper. I hope he will settle down after getting married. The godmother listened to Zhao Jixi's words and looked at Li Shuang with emotion. Puchy. The third and fourth sisters almost laughed out loud. As for Zhao Jixi, he is so good. He is only good in front of you. We don't know what he is like outside. After sighing for a few days, everyone was in a different mood, feeling tangled and depressed, or proud and happy. In short, there were a lot of emotions. Mom and the eldest and second sisters were also there. The eldest and second brothers-in-law were of course not left behind. There were also two little kids who came along, and now they are watching those silly sheep on TV. Jay Chou was puzzled. What's so good about these silly sheep? The plot is much worse than those he watched when he was a child, such as Dragon Ball, Astro Boy, Digimon, Pokemon, IQ, and Ariel. Even Sailor Moon is better than it, just because it is made in China. After watching a few episodes, Jay Chou felt that their IQ is really unlimited. The sheep can't die, and the wolf can't eat them. These guys are immortal. Damn it, when are we going to hire a gunman? To draw a wolf eating all the sheep for us? Make it into a cartoon. It won't cost much anyway. It can also get rid of the depression in my heart. It's a very cost-effective business. The more Zhao Jixi thought about it, the more it made sense. We are not short of money. When we make the Angry Bads cartoon, we will ask them to make a few episodes of this. One episode eating a wolf, one episode eating a sheep. Let's make a boiling fear, and in the end the wolf eats all the sheep, and they starve to death. That's the ending. Zhao Jixi thought with a sense of evil, but there was nothing he could do. He was really resentful. In his previous life, several children came to play at home, and Zhao Jixi couldn't even watch NBA, so he changed to silly sheep, because the children cried. Even the excuses that his father used to deceive him when he was a child are no longer useful. You say that this channel has been completed, and he tells you that a certain channel is still available, and several channels are broadcasting at the same time. Zhao Jixi even wants to kill him. This guy is the one who made silly sheep. What is Leo Wu thinking about? He is laughing so lewdly. The second sister couldn't stand it anymore when she saw Zhao Jixi grinning at the TV alone, so she spoke out. What's the matter? Mom just asked if uncle was. The little niece covered the third sister's mouth before she finished speaking. Second sister, you too. There are children here. Why do you say anything? The third sister said to the second sister. What's the matter with you? Zhao Jixi looked at them in confusion. Uncle, auntie covered Xianshan's mouth to stop her from saying what the second aunt said about you just now. What were you laughing at just now? The eldest sister's son Guagua, the kid with a shaved watermelon head in front of him, spoke the key points in a very organized and fast manner. However, Zhao Jixi felt that it was better not to listen to these words, especially when they came from the mouth of this little brat. Moreover, this person shaved his head like the watermelon boy in the cartoon Momotaro when he was a child. The degree of evil-mindedness is not like his mother, but it comes from a child who looks very much like his second aunt. In this regard, Zhao Jixi could only look at the second sister with a black line on his head. Oh, haha. Well, the baby is hungry. I'm going to feed the milk. Oh, I was so happy today that I forgot about it. Really? The second sister said and immediately left. Zhao Jixi held his breath and said, oh my god. Retribution. Li Shuang ate watermelon and looked at Zhao Jixi with a look of causing trouble. Everyone had dinner at Zhao Jixi's house instead of going out to a restaurant. With so many women at home, any dish they made would be enough, and everyone thought it was better to eat at home. The godmother also had the same idea, so everyone didn't refuse her and ate at home. During the meal, the cups and plates were clinking, and the meal was very lively. Everyone also talked about the changes in the city in recent years. These were also some of the things that the godmother wanted to hear the most, so the chat was very pleasant. Several younger generations also toasted her at the same time. However, Zhao Jixi was not happy anymore, because during the meal, the little brat actually brought up the incident that his second sister had said about him being a slut. And it was said by a little girl of a few years old, which made Zhao Jixi blush, and was laughed at by everyone. Chapter 136. The third and fourth sisters want to raise investment. A few days later, the child's full moon banquet was held in a big hotel in the city. Zhao Jixi didn't lack the money, so he spent more than 200,000 yuan to prepare a banquet. He invited all the relatives, and had a good time. The banquet ended with the smiles of his family. Anyway, everyone felt happy to spend the money, and Zhao Jixi felt it was worth it. It's just some money. If it's gone, we can make more. If we put the money now, we probably won't be able to spend it all in a lifetime. But considering that, if there is any wasteful behavior in the future, it is estimated that we should earn more. There is no output now. In addition to the stock price still rising, the farm is not worth thinking about now. The orchard will take a few months, but the watermelon seems to be ripe. Otherwise, go back and sell some wine. Zhao Jixi counted on his fingers. Just now, when the third sister was having dinner, she told Zhao Jixi that she wanted to buy the company where she was working now. Their company's profitability is good, but the ownership of the company belongs to the boss's wife. And there are many girls in the company, and they all look good. Of course, the boss was a little upset, so there was news about him and a certain girl. When the boss's wife found out, she was not calm. Economic power is sovereignty, so there is no need to say more about the result at this time. The boss's fate is foreseeable, and the boss's wife didn't want to run a wedding planning company anymore, so there was a rumor recently that she wanted to sell the company. So the third sister had an idea. She had been doing this for so many years, and she was a little famous in the industry, and she had enough connections. It was just that she had no funds, and she was also a woman, so she was at ease to help the boss work. But this time it was different. A rich brother appeared in her family. So she had an idea about the company and wanted to take it over. The company's foundation was also good, and she also had connections in the company, so it was very simple to do it. So she asked Zhou Jixi for investment. But Zhou Jixi knew his own suffering, and it seemed that he didn't have much money to invest. There was no point in tangling with things that he was unsure of. Looking at the eyes of the third and fourth sisters, Zhou Jixi certainly couldn't bear to refuse. How much will it cost? Zhou Jixi asked the most crucial question. Zhou Jixi didn't know much about this business, but he knew it was very profitable. The third sister looked at the fourth sister, and they both laughed. Seeing Zhou Jixi like this, they knew there was a chance. It's hard to say specifically, but according to the market value, it will be about 300 to 400 million. It's mainly the wedding equipment in the warehouse, which is worth a few million, and there are some cars, etc. And these are still new, and they have just been updated. In addition, the fourth sister also wants to do the dress design together. We will provide a one-stop service, so the price will be a little higher. If my boss is interested in transferring, we can still negotiate the price. The third sister looked at Zhou Jixi and occasionally glanced at the fourth sister, which was a little different from her usual appearance. It's also a kind of enjoyment to see her get humiliated. I told you to bully me usually, today I'll tell you to be nervous. Zhou Jixi, who was laughing in his heart, of course did not show it on his face. Instead, he had a serious expression on his face, as if he was thinking about the gains and losses. After waiting for a long time, Zhou Jixi didn't say anything. The third sister was a little nervous. She looked at the fourth sister and wanted to ask her what she meant. Will Lao Wu disagree? No, don't worry. The fourth sister gave the third sister a reassuring look. Looking at the little actions of the two, Zhou Jixi almost laughed to death. He felt that the time was almost up, so he stopped teasing them and said slowly, okay, the two of you are still flirting with each other. I agree to this. Yeah. The two jumped up happily at once. Lao Wu is the best. Come on, sister, give me a kiss. The third sister was so happy that she didn't care. Hey, saliva. Oh, it's so dirty. Lao-san, you did it on purpose. Zhou Jixi wiped the saliva on his face and said to the third sister with a disgusted look. However, the third sister was still unmoved and continued to tease Zhou Jixi. Looking at her, it was obvious that the more uncomfortable Zhou Jixi was, the happier she was. Hey, kissing, you shameless man. Oh, mom, help me, my third sister molested me. Mom. Zhou Jixi was so scared by the bad taste of the third sister that he ran away. After playing around, everyone discussed the distribution of shares. According to Zhou Jixi, brothers should settle accounts clearly, although it doesn't matter if all the money is given to them. But the third and fourth sisters will not accept it. So after several people pushed and shoved, they finally compromised. Zhou Jixi paid for the venture capital with the American Angel Fund. This would be considered an American-funded company, and there would be some tax benefits. Zhou Jixi bought the company in full and handed it over to the two of them to manage. If there is a loss, it will be his responsibility. If there is a profit, he will know when he gets his money back. Zhou Jixi took out 60% of the company's shares, 30% for each person and 40% for himself. In fact, according to his meaning, as long as they get their money back, the company will be given to them. This money is considered an interest-free loan from him, but neither of them is willing, so he has no choice. So it's like this. Okay, then it's divided like this. As long as your company is interested in selling, call me and I will ask the American side to come and buy it as soon as possible. Zhao Jixi said with the final word. Well, that's fine. I will secretly appease the company's employees and the signing MC, etc., so that there will be no unrest. I hope that you can accept it and start the business. The third sister said this confidently, and she has the flavor of a strong woman. The fourth sister is not so good. She looks a little quiet and doesn't look like a strong person, so she always follows the third sister. But with the third sister's protection, I guess she doesn't need to be a strong person. If the two of them have such personalities, then it will be a big deal. It's good to complement each other. Well, okay, then it's settled. If you buy it and open it at that time, I will give you a surprise, Zhao Jixi said mysteriously. After the chat, the two returned to Zhonghai the next day. Now the company has to keep an eye on this. They also need to stabilize the internal affairs and talk to a few planners first so that they can have a clear mind. And after the communication is good, it is estimated that they can force the palace so that Zhao Jixi can lower the price. In the past few days at home, Zhao Jixi went around with his godmother and Li Shuang, reminiscing about the past. The two went to the places where they played when they were young to reminisce, but they didn't see many old classmates. Most of those guys are now in the internship stage at school. Where do they have time to come back? Chapter 137, Go. After spending a few days at home, Zhao Jixi not only accompanied his family, but also had a tryst with Sister Yu. They spent 2 days together and had sex, almost draining Zhao Jixi. When she left, Sister Yu was full of passion, while Zhao Jixi's legs were weak, and he even had dark circles under his eyes. So I have to say that women's fields are really big because they can accommodate them. Seeing that the time was almost up, Zhao Jixi thought about going back to the United States. He had to take care of the farm and the game company, so he couldn't stay at home all the time. So he planned to tell his mother about it. But mom and dad obviously hadn't stayed at home enough, not to mention that this was a glorious time. The family had held a glorious banquet, and it would be a waste if they just left like that. While the heat was still there, the two old people wanted to stay at home. And the godmother also wanted to stay here and play for a while before leaving. Because in addition to chatting with her mother, she also found her old friends and classmates from college. Even Zhao Jixi had to say it was weird. And once you find one, it's easy to find others. Suddenly, several of my godmother's classmates were contacted. Now they have more to play with. In addition, the first classmate they found has a good family background. Those who can play with knives later must be not bad. Now everyone's children have grown up, some are married, some have children, and everyone has free time. So a few people got together, saying that they wanted to have a good time, and casually said that they wanted to help Li Shuang find a good wife. In this way, everyone knows each other well, and it is easier to get along. Li Shuang was so scared that he wanted to run back to Korea immediately or go to the United States with Zhao Jixi to hide. Otherwise, if her mother really found someone, he would not be able to deal with it, even if he had a good relationship with her. At this time, Li Shuang looked a little anxious, looking for Zhao Jixi like a life-saving straw. Jesse, I tell you, this situation is a little bit wrong now. Let's run away quickly. Look at my mother's attitude. If she doesn't bury me, she won't be satisfied. Li Shuang found a time to secretly talk to Zhao Jixi. Godmother, it's also for your own good. There are rows of beauties waiting for you to choose. What a good fortune. You are not willing yet. Tell me, are you a slut? Zhao Jixi spitted at him, but before he could answer, he continued, that's right, you are a slut. There is no other word to explain your asterisk behavior. Go, I'm going to kill you, you little bastard. You are making fun of me. Li Shuang wanted to hit him, but unfortunately Zhao Jixi dodged it. He smacked his lips. You bastard, you are so slippery. If you think this beauty is good, I'll give her to you. I don't really want her. You want to push a bunch of women you can't sleep with to me? Humph, we're not going anywhere. We'll stay here. I'll see you get engaged before I leave. I'll kick you and bury you in the grave. Oh, don't, Master Zhao. Oh, Master Zhao now. What a pity. It's not too late. Go buy me 2 bottles of juice. Zhao Jixi sat on the sofa, crossed his legs and said proudly. In the end, Li Shuang still didn't get to go with her. He was really caught by his godmother. She asked him to go to her classmate's house for a blind date and didn't allow Zhao Jixi to accompany him. In addition to some other reasons, Zhao Jixi was too handsome. If he went with her, he would fascinate the girl, and Li Shuang would have nothing to ask for after that. So the miserable Li Shuang embarked on a miserable life. I bid farewell to Jie Chao with tears, and accompanied my godmother to Beijing with resentment. My godmother happened to go out with a few classmates to have fun, and of course blind dates were inevitable. Well, these guys, one by one, have something to do. They don't live in the villas in the United States, but have to show off at home. Jie Chao was helpless. Fortunately, he is not too old now, and his family is not in a hurry, but it seems that something is wrong with his father. Recently, he drove his baby to other cities to meet the old leader. It is said that he didn't mix well in the past, and it is inevitable that people will gossip about him when he meets the old leader, so he doesn't want to go. Now that his son is rich, he doesn't ask for anything, so he goes to renew the relationship. He can go there with peace of mind. When Jie Chao saw this, he thought of his godmother's situation. It was not a gathering of old friends, and then he sold his son. If his father was happy, he would have promised himself out. Or when his father was young, he owed a debt and arranged a marriage for himself. Damn, that's not bloody. Thinking that they couldn't stay at home any longer, everyone went out to get busy. Zhao Jixi wanted to go to the United States first. He said goodbye to his mother, who was still at his relative's house, his father who was still at his comrade's house, and his sisters who were busy with their business, and then Zhao Jixi set off for the United States. But there was a little accident in the middle. Uncle, are we going to take a plane now? A little girl with a cartoon bag on her back, an Ariel hat on her head, an Ariel suit on her body, and frameless glasses on her face, grabbed Zhao Jixi's trouser legs in her hands and shook them, and said to Zhao Jixi with a cute face, "Xianshan, you have asked me at least 99 times. If you ask again, your uncle will not take you to the United States to play." Zhao Jixi wore a pair of sunglasses, but the helplessness on his face was still visible. "What's wrong with me? My second sister is too unreliable. I just asked Xianshan if she wanted to go to the United States with uncle, and you dumped her to me. I was just being polite, right? As a mother, you really don't want to do that." Looking at the innocent child, Zhao Jixi despised her mother fiercely. "You said you wanted to go with me to experience American culture, but it's obvious that you want to be lazy." "Oh, I'll go. A handsome guy like me with a girl, won't I become a dad?" Seeing passers-by looking back from time to time, Zhao Jixi was secretly happy but also helpless. Uncle is a bad guy. Uncle doesn't love Xianshan anymore. The little girl was unhappy when she saw Zhao Jixi not following her routine, and she pouted her mouth and was almost worried. "Oh, my little baby. Uncle loves you the most. How about I treat you to ice cream? I want strawberry flavor." The child put down her unhappiness as soon as she saw there was food. She looked at Zhao Jixi excitedly. "Okay, let's ask the pretty sister to send it over when we get on the plane, okay? Haha, I'm pretty good at dealing with kids." "Well, then uncle, let's get on the plane. Hurry up, hurry up." Xianshan pulled Zhao Jixi and wanted him to board the plane quickly. Chapter 138 Little Sweetie. "Hello, Sister Zai. We've arrived at the capital airport. Where are you now?" She was dragging a funny cartoon suitcase in her left hand, carrying a fashionable bag on her back, and holding an Ariel in her right hand. It should be her little niece. At this time, she was holding a mobile phone to Zhao Jixi's ear so that he could talk. "Jess, please come out now. I'll wait for you in the parking lot. There are too many people. It's not easy to go in. I'm really sorry," Zhang Ziyi said politely in a familiar manner. "Oh, we are so familiar with each other, and you are still so polite. You don't treat me as your brother." "Sister Ziyi, I'm so sad. My heart is cold," Zhao Jixi said in a funny way. The little girl was a little confused. Laughing is also called sad. Uncle, why are you laughing so lasciviously again?" The person on the other end of the phone was stunned for a moment, and then burst into a terrifying laugh. "Oh. Haha. Oh. Jeezy. I'm laughing to death. My stomach. Oh my stomach." Zhang Ziyi laughed so hard that tears came out of her eyes in the car, and she couldn't stop laughing, even though her stomach was still uncomfortable. Zhao Jizi's mind was completely cold at this moment, and his head was almost full of black lines. What a rip-off. This is not a child, this is a rip-off. Looking at Shan's innocent eyes, Zhao Jizi felt the feeling of crying without tears. However, no matter how uncomfortable Zhao Jizi was, he had to make it clear. He said to her in a hey voice, Shan, didn't we agree not to use this word? Besides, uncles, this is not called that. This is a smile. A smile. But mom said you are. Woo woo. Before he finished speaking, Zhao Jizi put down his bag and covered her mouth with his hand. Little guy, I warn you. If you say this again, I won't buy you any food when you get to the United States, and you can forget about the toys I promised you. The little sweetie with her mouth covered nodded spinelessly. Okay, it turns out that my uncle still likes Sweetie the most. Let's go and ask Aunt Ziyi to treat us to a meal today. Just tell me what you want to eat. Don't be polite to your uncle. Zhao Jixi has read so many novels. Of course he knows the relationship between sticks and carrots. Look, he is so thick and black that he even attacked his own niece. Jess, you actually threatened a little kid. It's really embarrassing. Zhang Ziyi said with a smile. I'm educating her. Don't talk nonsense. Zhao Jixi said with an unchanging face. The combination of handsome dad and cute children always attracts people's attention. When Zhao Jixi walked out of the airport, there was also someone who claimed to be from an advertising company and wanted to find them to shoot an advertisement. Zhao Jixi proudly declined. The man handed over his business card and said he would think about it. Jess, over here, I see you. Zhang Ziyi said on the phone, and the car diagonally opposite Zhao Jixi honked a few times. Beep, beep. It was hard for him not to notice. He waved to Zhang Ziyi, and Zhang Ziyi's car had already driven over. After the car stopped, Zhao Jixi didn't need to say anything. He went directly to the back of the trunk, opened it and put the sweet bag in. He opened the back door, put Xianshan in, and then sat in himself. Before getting in, Zhao Jixi deliberately looked around because he was really scared of being secretly photographed last time. Not only did the sisters at home know about it, but he also received a lot of cold eyes and ambiguous smiles. It also caused Zhang Ziyi to be under pressure, which was really embarrassing. Okay, stop looking. It's okay if you don't look. If you look, it will make people think you have something to hide. It will attract more attention. Zhang Ziyi said to Zhao Jixi while sitting in the passenger seat. Zhao Jixi smiled, touched his head, and got in the car. After closing the car door, Zhao Jixi said to Zhang Ziyi, I was secretly photographed last time. You should be careful when you are with me, otherwise you will accidentally make the headlines again. You should be happy secretly. When I called you at that time, you were quite surprised. Besides, not everyone can make the headlines of entertainment news. You are pretending now. Zhang Ziyi exposed Zhao Jixi's thoughts without hesitation. He stretched out his finger and touched his forehead. Do I have it? Is it so obvious? Zhao Jixi compared himself a little embarrassedly. Yes. Zhang Ziyi nodded. Uncle, what are you guys talking about? Xianshan was a little annoyed when she saw Zhao Jixi ignoring her and always chatting with this aunt. You don't understand what adults are talking about. Oh, I almost forgot. Xianshan, call auntie now, Zhao Jixi said to little Xianshan. Oh, I see. She responded with a pout and looked at Zhang Ziyi. Hello, auntie, I'm Xianshan. You can call me little Xianshan. Her cute expression was really lovable. Seeing such a cute child, Zhang Ziyi's eyes lit up, and she couldn't help but reach out to touch her little face. Hello Xianshan, nice to meet you. I'm Zhang Ziyi, you can just call me Aunt Zhang or Auntie. She smiled and said, did your mom say you're cute? The little guy looked at Zhang Ziyi with a proud expression, and even looked like he was showing off. Of course, mom and dad both said Xianshan is so cute. And grandma and grandpa, aunt, third aunt, fourth aunt, uncle, great grandmother and great grandfather, second grandmother and second grandfather, third grandmother and third grandfather. Even the Korean grandmother who just came said Xianshan is cute. She also brought a lot of fun and delicious things for Xianshan. The little guy counted on his fingers and reported almost all the relatives at home. After saying that, he looked at Zhang Ziyi with expectation and a face full of "you also praised, why didn't you express it?" The curious eyes almost made Zhang Ziyi flustered. He looked around and it seemed that there was nothing good to give. Zhao Jixi was fine at first, but he almost fainted after hearing the latter part. Who would ask this? Isn't that reporting all the family's wealth? So he said ridiculously, "Damn it, I have to educate her well when I go back. This child just can't stand being praised." Zhang Ziyi kissed her. "Xianshan is really cute. Auntie will buy you a doll later, okay?" Since she didn't bring anything, she could only promise. Little Xianshan tilted her head and thought for a while, then looked at Zhang Ziyi with a look of embarrassment on her face. "Mom said that I can't ask for gifts from strangers casually, but since you are so familiar with my uncle, I will accept it." "Thank you, Auntie." "Well, Zhang Ziyi said ridiculously at this time. "Little brats are really the most helpless." He laughed funny, which was considered to be defeated by her naivety. "Jess, I still have to rely on your face to give gifts to me now. Is my sister getting worse and worse?" Chapter 139. Going to Zhang's house. Several people in the car were joking around, and time passed quite quickly. But Zhao Jixi suddenly remembered who was driving the car, and he didn't say a word to the other person. Wasn't it a bit rude? I'm not the kind of person who looks down on others just because he has money. After thinking about it, Zhao Jixi asked Zhou Xianshan to lead the way. "Xianshan, there is an auntie in front. Did you say hello?" "Oh, I just forgot." The little girl suddenly remembered and shouted, "Then go and apologize to this auntie." How could the little girl sense Zhao Jixi's evil heart? It was obviously she who forgot that there was such a person, but she pushed it to the little guy with one sentence. Sure enough, it's still the adults who are blamed for the little black pot. Once this big thing is pushed onto the child, it becomes a small thing, and the small thing is not a big deal. The little girl stood behind the driver's seat, got closer to the woman, and said to her, "Auntie, I'm sorry, Xianshan forgot to say hello to you just now." Don't blame Xianshan. Xianshan is still a child, and a very cute one at that. Zhao Jixi, Zhang Ziyi, and the person who was driving couldn't help laughing after hearing this. The three of them laughed out loud. "Jess, your child is so talented. He's so funny. Her mother is also very good. I just realized, now that this girl can do this, she has completely inherited the genes of my second sister. Her quirky look is exactly the same as when she was a child." Zhao Jixi also said to Zhang Ziyi with a smile. The person who was driving also smiled and said to Xianshan gently, "Haha, how could auntie blame Xianshan? Xianshan is so polite and cute. Auntie can't wait to love you. Alright, you should sit back in your seat now. When auntie gets home, how about giving you a good thing?" Well, Xianshan got it. "Thank you auntie. Except that the little girl is a little unreliable. She has been taught good manners. Unlike some children, who are too lively and noisy, it is really unbearable." So Zhao Jixi likes Xianshan very much, and that is why he is willing to bring her out to play. Otherwise, with his personality, why would he bring such a little oil bottle? In addition, in his previous life, Zhao Jixi really didn't get along with the children at home. At that time, he couldn't take care of himself, so how could he have the patience to play with children? In addition, he went to bed late and got up late, had an irregular life, and was a little mentally weak, so his temper was not very good. In this way, the family couldn't keep up with the children. Zhao Jixi and they had very few interactions in their childhood, and now he feels guilty about this. "I almost forgot. Jixi, this is my sister-in-law Zhou." "Sister-in-law, this is the friend Zhao Jixi I told you about." Zhang Ziyi hurriedly introduced the two. When he was in the car, he was busy chatting with Zhao Jixi and Zhou Xianshan, and forgot about her. He was embarrassed. Hello, nice to meet you." Zhao Jixi stretched out his hand and said to her. Zhou also smiled, holding the steering wheel with his left hand, stretched out his right hand, shook hands with Zhao Jixi, and then put it back. "Zhou, I'm very happy to meet you too. I've heard a lot about you, Mr. Zhao. I don't have any big name, just a nickname." Sister-in-law is a good name, a very domineering name. Don't call me Mr. Zhou, just call me by my name, and call me Jixi from now on. Zhou Jixi said modestly. Jess, you're taking advantage of the situation so soon. I haven't said anything yet, and you're calling me sister-in-law. What do you mean? Zhang Ziyi said this jokingly, but after saying it, it felt a bit inappropriate. The meaning of this sentence contained a lot of information. And this was under the confusion of Zhou Jixi and the weird expression of eyeing Zhou. The atmosphere seemed even weirder. We are brother and sister now, so I have to call you brother, if you are my eldest brother, and of course I have to call you sister-in-law too. Zhou Jixi said as a matter of course, and then looked at Zhang Ziyi with suspicion. Don't you want to deny it? Obviously, Zhang Ziyi also felt that this statement contained too much information, but this time the male protagonist was actually a man, and she felt like going crazy after hearing it. The car was supposed to drive to the Four Seasons Hotel in the capital first, where Zhou Jixi had already booked a room. But since he didn't have any luggage, he didn't need to go there first, but decided to go eat first. Everyone was a little hungry after all the hard work, and Zhou Xianshan was already complaining that she was hungry. After being stimulated by the few people, Zhou Jixi also began to feel a little hungry. As a result, everyone wanted to go out to eat, but not to eat outside, but let's go to your house. Zhou just made such a suggestion, saying that he also cooked a lot of dishes at home. Why are you not satisfied? Let me tell you, my mother's cooking is delicious. You can't eat it, even if you want to. You are blessed today. Looking at Zhou Jixi's hesitation, Zhang Ziyi said bluntly, no, I'm just surprised. But it would be a bit weird to eat at home. Zhou Jixi spoke out his true feelings. He did feel a bit strange now, especially when he saw Zhou's eyes. Zhou Jixi felt that there was something wrong. What's strange? It's not just a meal. You recognize me as your sister. Why don't you meet my mother? Besides, you are her daughter's rumored boyfriend. So you have to let her know. Haha. Zhang Ziyi said in a joking tone. Well, sweetheart, how about going to your aunt's house for dinner today? Your aunt's mother has cooked a lot of delicious food. With a tempting tone, Zhang Ziyi began to conquer the child first, and then it would be easy to deal with Zhou Jixi. Is it really delicious? Zhou Xianshan drooled a little and asked doubtfully. Of course, and my aunt has a little sister at home. Let her play with Zhou Xianshan, okay? Yeah, okay. Zhou Xianshan decisively rebelled again. Uncle, let's go to my aunt's house. She said she would treat us to delicious food. With a paw, Zhou Jixi patted Zhou Xianshan's head gently. With your behavior, you would be a little bastard during the anti-Japanese war. You are so greedy. I buy you food all the time. Haha, Jixi, don't teach our Zhou Xianshan a lesson. How can you surrender? Hey, the commander has been beheaded for you. How can I not go now? Haha, you are well behaved now. Look at you. It's not a dangerous place. What's the big deal about you? Zhang Ziyi looked at Zhou Jixi's dejected face and couldn't help but said with a smile. As for that, I feel like your mother is trying to interrogate me. Chapter 140, Eating at Zhang's house. The moonlight outside is bright and the stars are shining, which makes people sigh that the night view tonight is very beautiful. And it is closer to the moon on this high building, and I believe it looks even more beautiful. However, Zhou Jixi, who is in the house at this time, has no time to appreciate the night view. The restaurant by the window can see the night view of the capital at a glance, and it is fashionable with a deep cultural heritage. Even if it has been reformed and opened up for many years, you can feel its glorious past in the city under the feet of the emperor. Zhou, eat more. I don't know if auntie's cooking suits your taste. Zhang Ziyi's mother squinted her eyes and said to Zhou Jixi with a smile. Auntie's cooking is delicious. I'm not so particular. I eat wherever I go. I can eat anything. I'm not picky about food. Zhou Jixi continued to eat with big mouthfuls. Haha, as long as it tastes good. I'm afraid you won't be used to the taste of people in our capital. Come on, eat this. Your uncle bought roast duck at Quanjude today. I heard from Ziyi that you like to eat meat. Don't be polite to eat more. Zhang Ziyi's mother was really a little enthusiastic and kept putting food into Zhou Jixi's bowl from time to time. Fortunately, Zhao Jixi had a good appetite and was not afraid of anyone who came, and ate as much as he could. Except for Zhang Ziyi and her mother, everyone else at the table was staring blankly. His father thought that there were too many dishes at first and said it was extravagant and wasteful. After all, he was born as a people's worker, and there were still fine traditions of that era. However, seeing Zhao Jixi's state, Zhang's father estimated that it was a problem whether there were enough dishes on the table. This kid is really tolerant. Great, great. Xiaoji, don't worry about eating food, come and have one. Zhang Ziyi's brother Zhang Nan said to Zhao Jixi. Although he didn't know what he did, the brand name clothes on his body were a lot of money, and the watch on his hand. Zhang Nan was very impressed. Last time, his sister had an affair with this guy, and this time he heard that he was going to come to the capital, have dinner with his sister, and then fly to San Francisco. In addition, he felt that his sister's expression was a little strange. So he rushed to his wife to test Zhang Ziyi's attitude and casually invited this man to dinner at home to see what kind of person he was. After meeting him, he had a good impression of him. He was not pretentious, and he did not look down on others and be arrogant like a rich kid. Except that he was a little childish. His other impressions were also good. But this face made him jealous, and his wife kept looking at him. In addition, he suspected that Zhao Jixi might have something with his sister, so he wanted to show him some color at the bar. Okay, brother Zhang, let's go first. Cheers. Zhao Jixi drank a glass of wine happily. Okay, that's great. Cheers. Uncle, I'll have a drink with you too, and wish you good health. Another drink went down. Auntie, you've worked hard today. I'll have a drink with you too. Another drink went down. Jay Chou was not polite, and before he let anyone pour him a drink, he took the initiative. He drank a glass of white wine with everyone at the table, but fortunately, they were polite and drank small cups. Okay, Xiaoji is a good kid, so great. Come on, uncle will have another drink with you. Let's go. After exchanging cups, everyone was a little tipsy. Except for Jay Chou and the two little darlings who had already left the table. Everyone else, both men and women, drank some. Brother, are you an agent? Jay Chou asked for something to say. Yes, I used to help Ziyi, but later when she became big, I felt that I was not capable enough, so I only took care of her domestic affairs, and I took care of some small stars myself. Zhang Nan smiled and said, then paused and said, but I haven't made much money in this business so far, but I have a wife, so it's worth it. You, even when you are drunk. Ying Zhu's face was a little red, and what Lao Zhang said now made her a little embarrassed. In shame and anger, she reached under the table and grabbed it directly. Wow. Zhang Nan suddenly shouted. What's wrong with brother? Zhang Ziyi said with concern. Yeah, is big brother okay? Zhao Jixi also pretended to be concerned and asked, but he was actually laughing in his heart. Zhang Nan grinned, took a deep breath and said, it's okay, it's just that my legs are a little cramped after sitting for a long time. Yes, a little cramped. Afraid that others would disdain it, he deepened and emphasized the tone of the sentence. He glanced at his wife. After finding that her face was normal, he breathed a sigh of relief. Drinking is bad. Zhang Nan couldn't help saying. You too, I usually tell you to exercise more. Look, you can get cramps when you do it. Come with me to the community to exercise tomorrow morning. Zhang's father pointed his finger and said to Zhang Nan, well, your father is right. Zhang's mother also agreed. Zhang Nan was helpless. He could only swallow the bitterness. Yes, big brother, it's good to exercise. Look at my body shape from exercise. Zhao Jixi also kicked him. Yes, brother, look at your belly now, what it looks like. Zhang Ziyi was not polite. The meal was eaten in a lively manner, and the guests were very happy. After the meal, Zhao Jixi sat on the sofa in the living room with several people. Zhang's father brewed a pot of good tea, and Zhang's mother also cut some fruits, and brought a plate of preserved fruits that Zhao Jixi gave to Zhang Ziyi, and placed it on the coffee table. It turns out that there are more than just cups on the coffee table. Zhao Jixi muttered to himself. Jixi, what do you mean? Ying Zhu was sitting next to him. After hearing what he said, he asked. Sister-in-law, you don't know? What do I know? Eyeing Zhou looked puzzled. Dizzy. Maybe she really doesn't know. Sister-in-law, let me tell you, just compare life to a coffee table, and then, what is it filled with? Zhao Jixi said guidingly. What is it filled with? Tea sets? Zhao Jixi shook his head. Fruits? Melon seeds? Saucers? No, think about what you use to drink tea. Drinking tea. Teacup. Yes, what is a teacup called? Teacup. Tragedy. Yes, the tea table of life is filled with tragedies. Tragedies? Eyeing Zhou came to the conclusion. Xiaoji, you are so funny, who would be so unlucky, and life is a tragedy. Metaphor. Metaphor. Zhao Jixi said with a smile. The lives of most people in the future will be like a big coffee table. He thought to himself. What are you talking about? Zhang Ziyi saw Zhao Jixi and her sister-in-law chatting happily, and interrupted to ask. Eyeing Zhou also smiled, and told everyone what Zhao Jixi said. The whole family also laughed. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 141 Talking About Land. In the living room, Zhao Jixi was drinking tea and chatting with Zhang Ziyi's family, laughing from time to time. Zhang's mother also greeted Zhao Jixi familiarly. In her opinion, Zhao Jixi looked good, except that he was a little younger. Compared with Zhang Ziyi's previous boyfriend, the foreign boyfriend was much better. That way was not only old, but also smelled of perfume. The most important thing was that Zhang's mother didn't like his personality. It seemed that he had no advantages, except that he had a lot of money, and was good to Zhang Ziyi. And now that he was not good to her own daughter, she looked down on him even more. As for Zhao Jixi in front of her, he was not only young, but also heard from her son, that he probably had a lot of assets. Zhang's mother had some thoughts after hearing this. In fact, when it comes to the issue of money, it's not that she is greedy for money or anything. Her daughter also gives her some of the money she earns every year, and she can't spend all the money. Her son also has his own career and earns a lot. The family is really not short of money. It's just that she's afraid that her daughter will suffer in the future. Although I don't care about the man's money, you can't earn less than the woman. If the woman is strong and the man is weak, it will affect the relationship between the two people, and it is not suitable for family unity. It's not good to tell others. What kind of people keep gigolos and live off others are unbearable for everyone. What's more, Zhang Ziyi is a public figure, so she will receive more critical eyes. So Zhang's mother also has feelings for Zhao Jixi, and she has a good impression of Zhao Jixi. Let's not talk about whether the two will be together in the future. It's not wrong to get to know each other first. So she picked up the preserved fruit on the table and handed a piece to Zhao Jixi. Xiaoji, eat this, it's delicious. It was sent by a friend of Ziyi. It's very good. Do you want to try it? Zhao Jixi looked at her and greeted him with her own things. This feeling was really a bit weird. Turning to look at Zhang Ziyi, I found that she was also holding back a smile. After seeing Zhao Jixi, the expression on her face was a little embarrassed. Mom, please stop showing off your skills. The preserved fruit was given to me by Jess. You even gave it to him to eat. Not only Zhang's mother, but also several people around her said, something is going on. They didn't even tell us that it was sent by him. They are indeed a family. Even the ideas that came up were almost the same. They secretly exchanged glances and pretended to wait and see what would happen. After all, Zhang's mother had some experience. She reacted quickly and was not embarrassed. Did she say anything bad about him? She just praised Zhao Jixi's stuff. She laughed. Haha. I didn't expect that I was still talking about worshipping Buddha in front of the real Buddha. Xiaoji, you didn't say a word. I was so anxious to see you not eating this good thing. You made your aunt anxious in vain. Zhao Jixi quickly took the preserved fruit from Zhang's mother's hand. Auntie, you didn't tell me that. I can't say that this is mine. But if you like it, I'll send you some more when I go back to the United States. How can I let you spend money, but it tastes really good? The old and young in the family like to eat some, and if NIU doesn't eat, she will eat quickly, as long as she is given some. Mother Zhang said with a smile. No, these are all grown by ourselves, and the preserved fruits are also made from the fruits in our own orchard. It doesn't cost much, so don't be polite, auntie. Ah, did you grow it yourself? Well, of course I didn't. I have a farm in California, USA, and these are all fruits from the farm, and there are workers managing them. How can I do this? Zhao Jixi said to Mother Zhang and the curious people. Oh, you actually grew it yourself, then auntie, please don't be polite. Thank you, Zhao. Mother Zhang said. Farm. He contracted an orchard in the United States? Mother Zhang was a little confused about this concept. So he asked, so Zhao has contracted an orchard in the United States? That's not bad. Eating your own food will make you feel more at ease. Zhao Jixi was speechless. Contracting. This concept is a bit far-fetched, although it seems similar. And the orchard farms in the United States can also be contracted from the farmers. Well, auntie, it's not contracting. The United States is a little different from China. Private purchase of land is allowed there. After buying it, it will be yours for life, and it can be passed down to your children and grandchildren. Zhao Jixi must explain this to the old man clearly. Of course, there is no lack of the desire to show off in his heart. But this is also human nature. This is to meet the girl's parents. You always have to show them your muscles. Although he and Zhang Ziyi are not that thing now, he also has ideas in his heart. Of course, at this time, he can't be looked down upon by others. The distance between a farmer and a farmer is much different. Oh, the land has been bought out. Isn't that the landlord in ancient times? They have to be beaten. Is there such a thing in the United States? Zhang's mother asked with a look of surprise. Zhang's mother's words made her two children blush, but she is their own mother. A son will not dislike his mother's ugliness. After all, she is an old lady. Mom, the social system in the United States is different from that in China. They are a capitalist society, and landlords are legal. Zhang Ziyi helplessly explained to her mother. Yes, and if you buy land there, everything under the land will be yours in the future. Even if you dig out gold and oil, it will be yours. Zhang Nan added. Oh, that's great. Land is a good thing. With it, you won't have to worry about it for the rest of your life. If your grandfather's land is still there, our family will be a big landlord. It's a pity that after the victory of the revolution, the land in our family was confiscated. Zhang's mother recalled, with a look of regret on her face. Ah, Mom, our family used to be landlords. Zhang Ziyi asked curiously. Obviously she didn't know about this before. Zhang Nan had the same expression, and it seemed that he hadn't heard of this either. It wasn't a good thing in the past. Did your dad and I tell everyone about it? Oh, that's right. Haha, it's all in the past. Hey, Jess, is land expensive in the United States? Zhang's mother suddenly asked Zhao Jixi, and from her expression, it seemed that she suddenly wanted to buy some. Well, the United States has a vast territory, and the population is not large, so the price of land is still very favorable. To be honest, it's really not expensive. But it depends on what you buy it for. If it's for agricultural use, you can get a tax deduction. Chapter 142, Showing Off Wealth. Mom, why are you asking this? Zhang Ziyi said. When your grandpa died, he was still thinking about the fields at home. Now that I heard what Jizi said, I thought that, if it is not expensive, I would buy some to comfort your grandpa. Zhang's mother said a little sadly. Yes, when your grandpa left, he still held my hand. Hi. Zhang's father also said. Oh. Zhang Ziyi seemed to understand his parents, and said no more. Zhang's mother adjusted herself, and smiled a little sadly. Haha, it's okay, Zhao. Go on. Zhang's mother recovered quickly, then asked Zhao Jixi. Oh, that's fine. If you want to hear more, I'll tell you more. The land in the United States is mainly used for farms and ranches, as well as forestry. Of course, there are also a group of people who buy it for vacation. Different areas, different states, or different counties will have very different prices. If you want to build a farm, you have to buy some fertile land. If you want to use it as a ranch, to raise cattle and sheep, then it can be a little worse. If you buy it as a forest, then you basically don't have to worry about it. Zhou Jixi told them what he knew and the prices of some land in the United States. The Zhang family also listened to Zhou Jixi carefully. There are many ways to use the land in the United States. Yes, it depends on what you plan to use it for. Zhou Jixi also sighed. It was only after entering this industry that he knew some of the fur inside. What about your farm, Zhou? I've heard so much, but I still don't know what your farm is like. Tell us so that I can understand more. Mother Zhang asked me. Zhou Jixi didn't want to show off his wealth, but since she came to you to show off, you can't refuse her. Yes, Zhou, you also tell me. Zhou also chimed in. Yes, Jixi, tell me. Zhang Ziyi, well, then I'll tell you. My farm is located in Merce County, California, USA, and it spans 2 counties. It is a comprehensive farm with orchards, planting, grazing, and it is also connected to a grape farm. Is it so complicated? Zhou sighed. 2 counties? How big is that? Mother Zhang was not very clear about this concept, so she asked Zhou Jixi. Zhang Ziyi was startled when she heard what Zhou Jixi said. The land spanning 2 counties. Is it located at the junction of the 2 counties? Otherwise, how big would it be? Zhang Ziyi couldn't suppress her surprise for a moment and uttered a little bit inappropriately. What's wrong? Zhang's father asked his daughter in a low voice. Dad, it's okay. Oh. Zhou Jixi was also continuing to talk here when he heard someone was surprised and saw that it was Zhang Ziyi and Zhou. A smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. A smug look kept fermenting in his heart, and he felt refreshed after pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger. Well, it's about more than 1,100 square kilometers. Zhou Jixi's words shocked people. More than 1,000 square kilometers. Our house is more than 300 square meters. How big is it? Oh my god. Mother Zhang was obviously shocked by the number, and she started to calculate it in her mouth. The others were also shocked. Husband, do the math. More than 1,000 square kilometers is approximately how many acres? I can't wrap my mind around it now. Zhou patted Zhang Nan's shoulder and said to him in a daze. I can't calculate it either. My head is a little dizzy now. Jess, I didn't expect that you are one of the big landowners in California. Zhang Ziyi also looked at him with surprise and was obviously also shocked by the number. You were pretending to be low-key with me before, and you even have an orchard. Haha. Sister Ziyi, didn't you ask? If you didn't ask, how could I tell you how big my farm is? That would be too much. I really can't do this. Zhou Jixi touched the back of his head and pretended to be honest. You kid. Zhang Ziyi laughed and scolded. Zhou, talk to your aunt. I'm old and my brain is not good. I can't figure out what this means after a long time. Zhou Jixi smiled at Zhang's mother. Aunt, if the square kilometer is converted into mu used in our country, it is about more than 1 million mu of land. It is equivalent to Changming Island in Zhonghai, which is a little bigger than it. My god, more than 1 million mu, and Changming Island is not as big as it. Zhang's mother went to Changming Island to play there, and she knew something about the place, so she had a little idea of the size in her mind. This moment was really shocking. In the ancient times of the Celestial Empire, this was almost a small prince for people in the underground of this old imperial city. The concept of land is definitely more reliable than money and companies, and the old man still has a nostalgia for land in his heart. Of course, in the Celestial Empire, those who contracted with the state, how could they have this? The land that belongs to private property, the impact brought about is huge. Zhou, you are a real big landlord. Awesome. No, auntie, it's still a long way to go for me to be a big landlord. With what I have now, I can't even get into the top 10 landlords in the United States. It's still a long way to go for that big landlord. I plan to buy a few farms and forests when the market gets better in a year or two. I think I can become a big landlord now, but I can't be one now. Zhou Jixi said modestly, but everyone could hear the heroism in his words. Zhou, you still want to buy land? Zhou asked a little surprised. She was surprised too much tonight. Even when the husband she was going to marry turned out to be Zhang Ziyi's brother, she was not as surprised as today. Zhang Nan also looked at Zhao Jixi with a strange expression. He was also shocked by this handsome boy today. This boy shocked him more in just one night than others did in a whole year. I knew he was rich, but I didn't expect him to be richer than I thought. This time, my sister lost her winter melon and picked up a watermelon. This little guy is not arrogant or impatient, except that he is a little childish. In other respects, he and Ziyi are a good match. I just don't know how old this boy is. I'll ask the eldest brother to ask later. They are both rich and beautiful. Not bad. Father Zhang sat on the sofa. Although he did not express his opinion, he was secretly observing the progress of things. When his wife asked these questions just now, he knew what she meant. Obviously, he had some ideas, and the most important thing was that his woman did not even stop him. This question is really worth studying. What exactly does Ziyi mean? Does he want him to show off his muscles so that we can be mentally prepared? Father Zhang has been thinking about this question for a while. Chapter 143 Old Zhou. Zhou Yao. At the request of the group leader, I was going back to the farm, but I thought it was not a big deal, so I added Lao Zhu to write 2 chapters. Lao Zhu seems to be pretty good except for his flat chest. Zhao Jixi came to the airport again with the little girl in his arms, and he suddenly remembered the faces of the Zhang family. He was obviously shocked. It's not that they haven't seen any wealthy people. Zhang Ziyi is an international movie star after all. The ex-boyfriends they had dated were either rich or noble. They have seen all kinds of people. But Zhao Jixi is so handsome, not too old, and has a sufficient treasury. The most important thing is that he can make his own decisions with this wealth. All these shocked them, and coupled with the concept of land, Zhang's mother and father were all captured, and they had a very good impression of Zhao Jixi. He is handsome, young, rich, good-tempered, and has no girlfriend. Isn't this a good son-in-law? The daughter is so old now. If she doesn't get married any longer, she will really become an old maid. Although the age of the two may be a problem, the daughter has taken such good care of herself. I believe that when she reaches the same age as Zhao Humin and Lin Qingshe, she will definitely be no worse than them. So the two are not worried about this problem. Now these young people always say, height is not a problem, age is not a distance, money is the truth. We don't ask for anything else, as long as we pass the age test. Moreover, Zhao Jixi is a Chinese American. I believe he is more open to love than the Chinese. So unconsciously, Zhang's mother and father had the urge to train Zhao Jixi as their future son-in-law. In the future, they will call Zhao Jixi from time to time to contact him and show their presence. After all, their daughter is too busy, so the old man has to step in. With a happy mood, Zhao Jixi hugged Qianshan and boarded the flight to the United States. In the 21st century, economic strength is the hard truth. Zhao Jixi couldn't help but sigh at the strong contrast between his past life and this life. If he was still the otaku in his past life, he would be so embarrassed to go to the home of an international movie star, and he would be so flustered that he didn't know where to put his hands and feet. He couldn't even stand up straight without food at home, so how could he talk about everything like this time and make everyone revolve around him? So money is people's courage, which is much more useful than alcohol. Drinking to give courage is drunkenness, and using money to give courage is confidence. We are about to go to the United States. Uncle, when can we get there? Zhou Qianshan danced in her seat, looking here and there, looking very curious. You will arrive after a nap, now you just sit still, okay? Oh, uncle, this seat is so big, it wasn't so big when I sat there before. Qianshan said while gesturing with her hands. Her face was so cute that Zhao Jixi couldn't help but want to pinch it. Thinking of this, Zhao Jixi went over and pinched her face. Okay, sit down obediently and don't talk loudly. Tell your uncle what you want to eat or drink, but remember to speak softly, okay? Why? Well, you will disturb others and make them uncomfortable. Just like when Qianshan is sleeping and someone is making noises in your ear, you will also feel uncomfortable, right? Well, Qianshan hates someone calling me when I'm sleeping the most. I know, uncle, I will speak softly, okay? Qianshan spoke softly and looked around. It was obvious that she had entered the state and was afraid of disturbing others. Seeing her like this, Zhao Jixi also whispered, "Well, Xianshan is the best. Okay, sit down now. The plane will take off soon. You can sleep and arrive in the United States." Well, Xianshan knows, then uncle has to be obedient too. The little guy acted like a little adult and tried to persuade Zhao Jixi. Zhao Jixi smiled dumbly, and he liked this little niece more and more. After helping her take care of herself, Zhao Jixi gave her some snacks and sat back in his seat. "Your niece is very cute." A female voice came from beside Zhao Jixi. Zhao Jixi looked back and saw a woman wearing sunglasses saying to him. After a quick look, "She looks good, very elegant." The woman was wearing a silky long skirt and no accessories. She was simple but refreshing, and she looked very pleasing to the eye. "Thank you, she is my baby." Do you like children too? Children are the purest age group of people. People can't help but dislike them, and I'm no exception. Looking at these flowers can always wash away the darkness in my heart, the woman said calmly, with a tone that sounded detached from the world, like a philosopher. This woman is a bit literary, but what she said is very pretentious. Although he was plotting against her in his heart, Zhao Jixi's acting skills improved greatly with a smile. His face did not show his thoughts at all. "Yes, your idea makes sense. We are all vulgar when we grow up." He looked at Xianshan and said, "Unlike them, I'm still a blank sheet of paper. Don't worry about what she will calculate." "Yes." The woman sighed, looked at Zhao Jixi, and stretched out her right hand. "Zhu Jinglei." Zhao Jixi also stepped forward, shook her hand and said, "Zhao Jixi." The two introduced themselves and then parted hands, but Zhao Jixi still had some aftertaste left on his hands. The touch of this woman is average, and there are calluses on her palms, but the taste of strength and decisiveness is very attractive. "Your name sounds familiar, Zhu Jinglei. It sounds like the name of a celebrity, but I suddenly can't remember it now." Zhao Jixi did feel that the name sounded familiar, but he just couldn't remember it. "Haha, if you're talking about a celebrity, I wouldn't dare to accept it, but if you're talking about a movie actor, then it's probably me." Zhu Jinglei admitted it without any hesitation or pretense, and was very generous. "Oh, I remember now, you are the one." What is that?" Zhao Jixi thought for a long time, and there was a shadow in his mind, but he just couldn't remember it. Suddenly he saw a couple kissing in the cabin, and he slapped his thigh and said, "Love to the end, that's it. I was wondering why I couldn't remember it. You acted very well in it. My mother and my sister like it very much." Zhu Jinglei's expression suddenly became strange. "Thank you mother, and your sister for your kindness. But I don't quite understand what you mean. Do you like this?" "Oh, I haven't seen it, but when I wanted to watch cartoons and football games, the remote control was always snatched away by them. I was too impressed by you." This is the resentment that Zhao Jixi had when he was a child. At that time, this TV series was very popular. It was not only broadcast at night, but also replayed in the morning and afternoon. He missed a lot of those cartoons. How could he not hate her at this time? He just wanted to whip her up, to relieve the hatred in his heart. Chapter 144. Want to be ambiguous? Well, it seems that I have offended you, and I have offended you quite badly. You have made it difficult for me to do this. It's okay. I thought I would scold you when I saw you before, but I also have a lot of resentment towards that brother Jing. You are a little less resentful now, but I would be sorry if I didn't say anything when I saw you today. Zhao Jixi said with a smile, and the teasing in his tone was revealed. Oh. Zhu Jinglei was a little interested in this wonderful man. It was very easy to chat with him. I don't know why, but now she didn't feel bad about his words. Zhao Jixi coughed twice and said to her seriously, "Miss Zhu. You said, but your expression doesn't look like you are going to scold someone. According to my experience, you should open your eyes wider, frown your eyebrows, and tighten your facial muscles. This can make people feel nervous." Old Zhu is old Zhu. He won back a game in a short while and began to smooth things over with Zhao Jixi. "Well, Miss Zhu, listen to me first. Okay, you can scold me, I can handle it." Zhu Jinglei looked ready to die. pursing her lips and frowning, which was really tempting, but her chest was a little flat. But the essence is the essence. It must have amazing elasticity, and it is not afraid of sagging. It is really immortal. Just one sentence. Don't worry so much, Zhao Jixi said with a smile. But Zhu Jinglei nodded and asked him to continue. Actually, what I want to say is, Miss Zhu, I actually grew up watching your TV series, and my sister and others, we all watched you grow up. In the future, I will let my son watch you grow up, and it is my honor to meet you today. Zhao Jixi smiled and said the words of fans that movie stars hate the most. The witness of the passing of time, you still have to face it with a smile. How uncomfortable it must be. You have to face it with a smile after being slapped in the face, and you have to stretch out the other side and pat him again. This time, she couldn't stand it anymore. Mr. Zhao, your words are really awesome and powerful. They hurt people without being seen. You still have to face them with a smile after I told you. Now, Mr. Zhao, do you want me to say thank you to you? Haha. No, you are too polite. I have been holding it in for so long and now I finally feel relieved. Zhao Jixi looked relieved and smiled, and then felt relieved. Haha. You feel relieved this time, but you make me feel uncomfortable. Zhu Jinglei also teased him. Although she felt a little uncomfortable when Zhao Jixi said this. But who is she? Old Zhu, that such a small thing can hit her. How is it possible? She has a good impression of this man who chats happily in front of her. Well, at worst, I'll buy you a drink after we get off the plane. Zhu Jinglei blurted out without realizing it. Okay, I'll eat my enemy as much as I want. You'd better keep an eye on your wallet. I won't be polite. Zhao Jixi didn't expect her to agree, and he got excited as soon as he said that. Speaking of this old Zhu, Zhao Jixi only knew her from the TV series Love to the End. And later, she directed Dulala. I heard that the box office was not bad, but he obviously didn't contribute to it. He only watched it on the computer. He was a little unhappy after watching it, and even went to Dalban to complain about him. There are not many people in the world who are as shameless as Zhao Jixi. Zhao Jixi shook his head and pinched his flesh at the back. Hiss, I'm not dreaming. After thinking for a while, his face suddenly became clear, and he said to Zhu Jinglei, okay, I'm your enemy, so as long as you can drink, I will accompany you to the end. More than 10 hours have passed on the plane, and they finally arrived in the United States. On the plane, Zhao Jixi continued the tradition of having a romantic encounter on the plane, and this time he met this literary young woman. The two chatted and got along well. After getting off the plane, they made an appointment to have a drink, but unfortunately Zhao Jixi looked at the little sweet girl in his arms. Oh my god, now I understand what a burden is. No matter how precious it is, I can't go to any wine. Even if we go to a restaurant to drink, even if we get her drunk, I guess I can't do anything with her. Zhao Jixi, who was walking beside Zhu Jinglei, was helpless. Looking at the relaxed old Zhu, she wouldn't have thought about it long ago, knowing that I have a child. I guess she can't do anything she wants to do. The current situation forced Zhao Jixi to think so, because it was too possible. This girl was a talented woman. What are you thinking about? Why did you stop? Zhu Jinglei pulled the luggage and turned around to look at Zhao Jixi behind her and asked him, Uncle, Auntie is talking to you. Xianshan saw that Zhao Jixi was still in a daze and couldn't help shaking his head in his arms. Ah, what's wrong, Xianshan? Zhao Jixi asked. Aunt Zhu was talking to you just now. You haven't spoken yet. After hearing this, Zhao Jixi quickly touched the back of his head and pretended to apologize to Zhu Jinglei shyly. It's okay, as long as you are not thinking about where to get the money for today's meal. Haha. Zhu Jinglei turned around with a smile. Let's go eat quickly. I know there is a good restaurant here. Oh, slow down. Wait for me. Hey. Inside the restaurant, this is a mid-range Western restaurant with both adults and children, but it is not too noisy, and the quality of the diners is also okay. It is a restaurant suitable for family gatherings. In addition, today is Sunday, so the restaurant is quite popular at this time. As soon as they entered, they saw a waitress wearing a cartoon hat walking towards them. She greeted them in fluent English. Then she led them to their seats. The dishes were served quickly. The little girl was eating French fries and forking fruit salad. She looked very happy and didn't pay any attention to the two of them. The waiter looked at this cute little girl and liked her very much. Then he praised her and said, "Your daughter is very beautiful." Zhao Jixi and Zhu Jinglei didn't explain for a while, but just said politely, "Thank you." After the waiter left, Zhao Jixi said to Zhu Jinglei, "Old Zhu, it seems that we look like a couple. We have said this several times along the way. You see, why don't we just make do with it and just obey me?" Zhao Jixi said to Zhu Jinglei, who had an elegant face, with a playful smile. When old Zhu heard it, he pretended to hit him, but before Zhao Jixi's hand reached him, he nimbly dodged backwards and said, "Don't, this couple is not in harmony. You don't want to obey me, at most I will obey you, and it won't be a problem. You're asking for death." As soon as the voice fell, Zhu Jinglei took out a few toothpicks on the table and threw them in Zhao Jixi's direction. But Zhao Jixi was quick and caught them one by one. "It seems that we have a tacit understanding." Zhu Jinglei looked at him with amusement. "Are you so mean to women? I don't remember being so familiar with you." Chapter 145, Ambiguous. Well, I usually don't joke around, but when I meet you, I can't suppress the joke in my heart. Hey, did you say that we knew each other in the last life? How come we have such a tacit understanding? Last life? Why don't you say that we were husband and wife in the last life? We were even friends. Sister, if we were husband and wife in the last life, there would be basically no hope for us in this life. Oh, what do you mean? Think about it, we have been husband and wife for a whole life in the last life, and we have to continue it in this life. Don't you feel bored? The matchmaker will feel bored. If his boss sees this, he will think that he is not doing anything, so he will make a move. We probably can't be husband and wife in this life. Haha, you kid. Zhu Jinglei listened to her twisted logic with anger and amusement. If you were friends in your previous life, then the chances of being together in this life are high. The matchmaker is tired from work, and when he sees your friend next to you, he will easily match him with a match. So, let's be friends in our previous life. You are so mean. You want to, but I don't know anything about my previous life, so we should learn about it in this life. You are still young. Haha. Zhu Jinglei smiled and tapped Zhao Jixi's forehead with her finger. Zhao Jixi was depressed, and he wanted to say, "How am I young? How can you make a conclusion when you haven't even tried it?" Great people also said that practice makes perfect. Complaints are nothing to Zhao Jixi now. Sister Jinglei, stop. You've denied me all of a sudden. How sad and upset I am. I can't tell that I'll be born late. I'm losing at the starting line. It's really unfair. There's nothing I can do. If you didn't give birth a few years earlier, I can't give you a chance now. Forget it. I'd better go back and take a shower. It's a pity that such a handsome boy is gone. Zhu Jinglei pretended to be disappointed and wanted to tease Zhao Jixi. Zhao Jixi looked like he had eaten a fly, feeling very uncomfortable. Eat. Don't look at me. You won't be full, even if you look at me. I guess I'm still a little far from being a beautiful and delicious person. Zhu Jinglei picked a piece of steak for Zhao Jixi. Here, this is for you. It's too much, and I can't finish it. Humph. Zhao Jixi turned his grief and anger into appetite, and continued to eat the steak. Then he ordered a few more, and then stopped and burped. After touching his belly, he looked at Zhu Jinglei, who was already dumbfounded, and couldn't help but feel proud. I told you to act calm all the way, but now you are not calm anymore. You are dumbfounded now. Jess, you are not really attracted to me, your sister? Don't joke about your body when you are so angry. What virtue do you have? What is that? There is only one flower in the world. Oh, no, there are many beautiful women in the world. Why do you have to love only one flower? You think too much. I didn't expect that our talented woman is so narcissistic. I really didn't see it just now. You are still laughing. How is your stomach? Is it uncomfortable? Zhu Jinglei asked with concern. She was so surprised just now that she didn't think of stopping him. Now she regretted it in her heart. Don't worry, auntie, uncle is a good eater. Sometimes he eats more than this, she said to Zhu Jinglei in a sweet and crisp tone, with a mouth full of red and white sauces at this time, like a little cat. Ah, he can eat so much. Yeah. Xianshan doesn't lie. Xianshan looked like she wanted to believe me, and her cuteness was revealed. Zhu Jinglei took a piece of paper and helped Xianshan wipe her mouth. Auntie believes in Xianshan. Xianshan is the best. How about auntie rewarding you with an ice cream? Yeah, thank you, auntie. So the child calmed down again. TSK TSK TSK. Zhu Jinglei looked at Zhao Jixi and looked at Zhao Jixi from head to toe again. I can't tell. Your body shape is really not in vain. The meat is growing very well, but there is too much lean meat. You need to gain some more fat. Oh my god, you treat me like a pig. Zhao Jixi smiled and threw a french fry over, but Zhu Jinglei ate it in one mouthful. After eating, the two realized that something was wrong. This french fry seemed to be bitten by Zhao Jixi just now. Didn't they kiss indirectly? The atmosphere suddenly became a little awkward. Although the two chatted well, they had only known each other for one day. They had expected some things from each other, and it was a bit strange to be ambiguous. No one spoke at the table for a while. Zhao Jixi thought that this couldn't go on, so he planned to speak first. But old Zhu Jinglei, the literary young woman, was a good seller. She smiled and said to Zhao Jixi, I'm at a loss today. I don't know if you have the virus. I won't be at peace for the next few days after eating this. Oh, I'm in great health. Don't slander my healthy and handsome physique. Zhao Jixi said like a kitten with its fur blasted. Zhu Jinglei was very satisfied with the result she created and smiled at Zhao Jixi. Oh. Look at you. Haha. Ha. Okay, you're in good health. Okay. You're still angry. How can you be like a child? I'm still at a loss. It's obviously me who ate your saliva, and you don't allow me to say anything. Zhu Jinglei pouted and said to Zhao Jixi unhappily. But, turn around and look, there are so many couples kissing. I wouldn't give this opportunity to ordinary people. You are lucky. I will beat you to death, you shameless guy. I can't appease the public anger without killing you. Zhao Jixi was so angry at his shamelessness that he didn't care about being a lady and picked up the vegetable leaves on the table and threw them at him. Hey, don't. I'm wrong. It's not okay. Surrender and don't kill. Treat prisoners well. Zhao Jixi said. Wrong? Yes. I was wrong. Okay, you tell me a joke. As long as it makes me laugh, I will forgive you. But if you don't laugh, 1 asterisk 2 point. Zhu Jinglei weed out the numbers. Oh my god. Okay, I'll tell you. Zhao Jixi said quickly, but at this moment, his brain was nervous, and he couldn't think of it. Looking around, she saw two people kissing. Oh, it happened. Sister Jinglei, listen carefully. There were two little bads standing on the neutral line and the live line respectively. They were living in peace. Later, the male bird kissed the female bird. It died. That's it? Zhu Jinglei said with a sneer. And more. Don't worry. Listen, this story tells us that those who show affection will die. The chemical composition of the bird's beak is appetite, and appetite is not conductive. But these two birds were electrocuted to death. Apparently, they kissed each other. Zhu Jinglei heard the latter, and then looked at the foreigners around her kissing and showing affection. Her face became redder and redder. Finally, she couldn't help laughing. Haha. Jess, you bad guy. You are a, haha, little hooligan. Haha, so bad. Yes, you laughed. You have to keep your word. Chapter 146 Changes in the Orchard. After meeting Zhu Jinglei, Zhao Jixi took Zhou Xianshan back to the farm. After taking over the farm for so long, it seems that he has not done anything else except the orchard. This boss is really incompetent. Zhao Jixi and Xianshan took a flight and flew to the Mixi airport. After getting off the plane, I immediately felt the difference between the small town and the city. To be honest, there are really not too many people moving around in this airport. Compared with cities like San Francisco and Los Angeles, the difference is really huge. If it were in China, any prefecture level city would probably have more people than this one. It was still Alan who came to pick them up. Zhao Jixi held the child and saw him through the crowd. He was still wearing a plaid shirt with jeans, a pair of riding boots on his feet, a cowboy hat on his head, and a pair of sunglasses on his face, which completely changed his herdsman look. Zhao Jixi has also been in the United States for a while. he found that the farmers and herdsmen here, how to say it? It should be said that according to his perception, they can be said to be cool. Although there are many fat guys, they always exude a temperament that is different from the peasants he knows. As for what it is, he couldn't say it. Hi, Alan, my friend, I see you again, and I still have to thank you for picking me up. Zhou smiled and walked over to hug him. It's Milner, boss. And I'm also happy too, Alan also replied with a smile. He lowered his head and saw Xianshan at Zhou feet. So he squatted down and said to her, hey, lovely lady, I'm Alan, can I meet you? Although the little girl has seen a lot of blonde and blue-eyed foreigners in the past 2 days, she is a little different from these people she has seen in the past. So she still feels strange and doesn't want to get close. So when she saw Alan squatting down, she hid behind Zhou legs and stretched out her head to look at Alan. I'm sorry, Alan, she's a little shy and she can't understand English yet. Zhou picked up Xianshan and said to her, this is Uncle Alan, he's very nice, say hello to him. Alan heard his name in Zhou words and knew he was talking about him. He straightened his chest and looked at Xianshan with a smile. Uncle. Haha, don't be afraid, Alan is a good person, he can ride a horse. When we get back to the farm, ask him to take you to ride a horse, okay? Zhou began to tempt the child. If you don't give the child some benefits now, she won't listen to you obediently. When she heard that they were going to ride a horse, Xianshan's eyes lit up. She looked at Zhou excitedly and said, really? Can we go ride a horse? Zhou nodded and said, yeah, ride a horse. Xianshan didn't think that this uncle looked weird, but thought that this uncle was not bad. Although he is not as good looking as his uncle and Xianshan talked to him because he wanted to teach her how to ride a horse. The two men were of course unaware of the little girl's strange mind. Hello, uncle, I'm Xianshan. Alan obviously didn't understand what she said. Although he has been learning some Chinese culture recently, it's a pity that the language is a bit profound. And it's the most difficult Chinese language. His head is about to explode when he sees all those squares. But thinking that the boss has lived in China for more than 20 years, if he doesn't enrich himself with Chinese culture, he will be distant from the boss. This is obviously unforgivable for Alan, who is interested in promotion. She said her name is Xianshan, and she is saying hello to you. Zhou helped translate. Alan nodded, looked at Xianshan kindly and said, hello, I'm Alan, nice to meet you. After that, he stretched out his hand to shake with Xianshan. Xianshan was familiar with this routine. Her mother had taught her that at this time, she should grab that hand and then shake it. In this way, many people will like Xianshan. The two of them got to know each other, and Zhou followed Alan out and got in the car to go back to the farm. Alan drove a small F450 pickup truck. Zhou looked at this car that witnessed a lot of things of his, and he was also a little emotional. In the car, Alan, how is the farm now? I heard from Atwood that the cows have been bought now. Can the feed on the farm still be self-sufficient? Don't worry, boss, the growth of plants on our farm has been really great recently. According to the original estimate, the cows on the farm will definitely have enough food and there will be a lot of surplus. But I didn't expect that. Since the California government's embracing work started, our farm has started to be a little different. Alan said to Zhou excitedly. Is the farm and pasture related to good plant growth and environmental protection? Zhou was a little surprised by his statement. It was all his own efforts, but it was related to the government. Yes. We found that the plants in the farm are growing very well now. Not to mention the pasture. According to my father, the land seems to have returned to decades ago, and the air at that time should be better than it is now. Alan expressed his guess. Going back to decades ago, this is really possible. I have released so much vitality to the earth and repaired the wounds of the land for many years, making the nutritional value of the land almost the same as before. Zhou knew that this was not just about the same, it should be definitely better than before. But the people here obviously didn't know, and Zhou himself would not say it. Since they think this is a reason, then this is it, and it also saves Zhou some troubles, and he doesn't have to worry about this problem now. When we are free, should we send something to the police? Make a good banner and send it directly to the municipal government to thank them. They are such good people. In the future, you will help me argue about the shield and other things. That's great. I can't wait to go back and take a look. It looks like this year will be a good year. Zhou had to pretend for a while. Otherwise, if you didn't react to such a good thing happening on your farm, it would be too fake. Now that this is a good thing that can make you famous, I guess all the politicians will like it very much. If you say it's their credit, they will definitely admit it. It's like selling them and helping me count the money. I think so, boss. These have appeared this year. The fruit trees we just grafted are also growing very well. It's really beyond my expectation. They have strong vitality, the root system extends very far, and they are very resistant to insects and diseases, which saves us a lot of effort. To be continued. Chapter 147. Arrival at the villa. Alan is now in charge of the orchard. He goes to see these little treasures every day, collects data, and checks for insects and diseases, so he has seen the changes in the orchard. The first generation mother plants that the boss brought back, except for some individual failures, all others are growing very well. And the grafted fruit trees have also improved a lot in terms of insect and disease resistance. He believes that, as long as they continue to grow, and the new genes continue to spread, these trees will also grow. If they are grafted consciously, they can completely become trees like the first generation mother plants. How are the cows and sheep growing? Alan said, those guys are growing great now. The grass in the pasture is very good now. Good grass can raise good cows. This is the experience of the old cowboy. I only know the meaning of this sentence now. Sure enough, the old man's experience is right. Oh, what else is going on? Why do you say that suddenly? The cows now like to eat the grass in our farm. In terms of growth rate, it seems to be a little faster. And the meat of cattle raised in this way is also very good. Last time we tried it, although they have only been eating grass for a short time, they taste better than beef from other pastures. Alan couldn't help licking his tongue, obviously still savoring the delicious and juicy steak. Wow, that's great. I can't help but want to try it now. Then I can benefit from it again. Alan laughed. Of course, that's for sure. Now it seems that I'm lucky. It's Alan. Zhou praised himself unceremoniously. Alan, who was driving the car, didn't have any negative emotions about his boss's self-promotion, because what Zhou said was the truth. He obviously wanted to pick up girls, so he just made up an excuse. He didn't expect that this excuse would bring benefits. This is really weird. The cowboys on the farm are really envious of the boss's luck. I'm sure, boss, you must have won the goddess's favor. Alan, are you saying that I'm a god-level gigolo? Relying on the goddess for a living? Oh my god. Alan was panicked by the boss's misunderstanding. No, boss, I'm not this. Hey, don't be nervous, buddy, I'm just joking. Zhou said, and patted his shoulder, looking like a successful prank. As soon as Zhou finished speaking, Alan stopped talking, wiped the sweat from his forehead nervously, glanced at Zhou with the corner of his eye, and looked at the road again. Oh, boss, I'm still driving. Please don't make such a nervous joke next time. Drive. Sorry. Be sure to pay attention next time. Zhou thought for a moment. If Alan's hand trembled and the car turned over, although he was not afraid, he and Zhou would be afraid. In the spirit of caring for employees, Zhou apologized. But after hearing Zhou's words, Alan's forehead still wanted to sweat. Boss, how can there be a next time? In the car, I chatted with Alan casually about the farm situation and got a general understanding of some of the situation, but the details still needed to wait for Atwood to report. After all, he was the farm supervisor, and some other things had some special persons in charge. How about Alan come in for a drink? The car arrived at Zhou's villa. Zhou, who was holding the sleeping Xianshan, said to Alan, who was still in the car. No, boss, you are obviously busier than me now. Next time. Alan refused and gestured to Zhou Xianshan in Zhou's arms. Well, thank you, buddy. After saying this, Zhou watched Alan leave and waved goodbye to him from behind. turning around and looking at the villa in front of him. It was still the same as when he left, except that the grass had grown more lush, and there were a few more birds drinking water by the lake of the villa, and some birds that looked a bit like ducks were floating on the water. It added vitality to the villa out of thin air. It's a pity that the little girl fell asleep, otherwise she would be very excited to see this scene. Zhou Jixi shook his head, holding the little girl in one hand and her bag in the other hand, and walked towards the villa. The nanny who was working inside had heard the movement outside, so she quickly put down the work in her hands and walked towards Zhou Jixi. "Mr. Zhou, you're back, give me the things." After that, she reached out and took Zhou Jixi's luggage. Zhou Jixi was not used to her service. As a rich man, some extravagant behaviors are also required. "Then please trouble you, Mary, is her room ready?" "It's already cleaned, sir. It's next to your room on the second floor." "Well, okay, thank you, Mary. Prepare some food for me later. And for this little girl, I think she will want to eat after she wakes up." Zhou Jixi smiled and said to the nanny, "Okay, sir," nodded and said. After she finished speaking, Zhou Jixi carried Xianshan to the second floor, but he carried her to his room so that the little girl would not wake up and find him. Now that the excitement of the first time was gone, the little girl suddenly felt jet lag, and Zhou Jixi himself wanted to sleep. "I met Zhu Jinglei by chance. Although we just knew each other, it's better to develop after knowing each other. This kind of literary young woman is really not that easy to get. I heard that her family education seems to be quite strict. I don't know what she thinks about the matter of sex friends. I guess if I dare to ask, she will dare to slap me." Put the little one on the bed and casually took a blanket to cover her. The weather here is not very hot now. Zhou Jixi's place has mountains and water, so he didn't feel the temperature rise. It's still good to have a thin blanket. When I just got off the plane, I had already called home, but now that I'm home, I have to call again. Although I've been out so many times, this time I brought a child with me. My mother is not only worried about me, but also about the child. What's more, there are my second sister and second brother-in-law. When the child left, she was very happy. I didn't expect that when the child arrived in the United States, she started to cry. What kind of person is this woman? Zhou Jixi still remembers that his second sister was holding a mobile phone and talking nonsense to Xianshan. He didn't see her at home usually, but she had so much to say to her daughter. Is it distance that creates beauty? This whole thing makes me look like a villain in a TV series, snatching the child away and leaving the mother crying. Zhou Jixi was so confused that he had to endure and listen to his second sister's nagging. He could only sigh that he would suffer the consequences of his own actions. Chapter 148. After thinking about it, he decided to call his mother first. After saying hello, Zhou Jixi didn't hear what his mother said, but heard the sound of shuffling cards. Then he heard his mother's voice coming over. "You guys shuffle first. I'll answer my son's phone call first." His mother put down the racket and said. Then he said to them, "This bastard boy keeps asking me to go to the United States, but he doesn't even think about the fact that, when I get there will be a bunch of foreigners and foreign women. Who can I talk to? I guess there won't be many people playing mahjong." Sister-in-law, Zhou is sensible now. He just wants to show his filial piety to you. He wants to take you over to enjoy the good life. This is your blessing. And the car that Leo Zhou is driving now was also bought by him. If you can drive, I guess Zhou will buy you one. Look at how cool your Leo Zhou is now. He drives this car around every day. My wife is so jealous. No, Zhou just saw his dad working hard for so many years, but he didn't buy anything for himself, so he insisted on buying him a car. And what should I buy? I can't do what old Zhou does, driving around every day. What's so cool about that? It's just to visit old comrades and old leaders. Mom replied modestly, but the smile in the corner of her eyes still betrayed her. It turned out that good words were the most comfortable to hear. Yes, Zhou is fine now. Unlike the two bastards in my family, they are not young anymore, but still so ignorant, and they mess around all day long. Second brother, you are wrong to say that. I think your Jidong is pretty good. He opened a company and brought his younger brother with him. Now even Jifeng has a car to drive. Zhao Jix's mother said, as a return of her favor, slightly scratching her itch. No, the boy from Shufan's family is really good. Ours is just a bunch of idiots. I heard that he's going to be promoted to deputy director soon. The company benefits are good and his wife is beautiful. He's still young and has a bright future. Oh, they're all idiots. This boy just found a good wife. It's all because of the help from the people over there. He doesn't have any ability. He's not like you. You can all make money, but he just gets a fixed salary. These people spoke very modestly, but Zhao Jixi knew that a group of women were showing off their sons again. But what could he say? Besides relatives, there was also his mother. He didn't have the courage to do that. Besides, they were all family, and it was an honor to show off to his mother. This feeling, well, it's really good to be honest. Thinking that he might be used as a model in the future, he felt indescribably comfortable. He even thought of the version. In the future, some old women and middle-aged women will point at their children and say, "You don't even look at Zhao Jixi. What and what? Why don't you learn from him?" Thinking of this, he was secretly happy. In his previous life, although Zhao Jixi didn't tell his mother about it, many relatives talked about him. Among them, some were well-intentioned or had other ideas. Zhao Jixi didn't want to care about it. If they could say you, it was because of your relatives. If you weren't a relative, who would care about you? No one would care about you, just watching the fun from the side. Hey, Zhao, you're home. I was playing Majin with your aunt and not just now. How was your journey? The mother spoke a little loudly, and her tone was inevitably a little proud. And her hearty laughter also showed that she was in a good mood. Zhao Jixi was also very happy to find that his mother was happy, and even his tired spirit was much better. Well, we're here. We'll transfer to the United States in the afternoon. We've flown almost halfway around the world with the little girl. I just got home and thought of calling you. Oh, I'm glad you arrived safely. By the way, how is Xianshan now? Why didn't the little girl hear her voice? Xianshan has become a sleepyhead now. She just arrived in the United States and can't adapt to the time difference with China. She fell asleep when she came back on the bus just now. Now she's lying on the bed sleeping. This girl is not afraid of anything. She will go with you if you say so. The second one is the same. Okay, then you have to take good care of the little guy. Is there anything else? My cards are still waiting. The mother's voice was a little anxious, and she was already urging Zhao Jixi. Oh, Mom, am I your child? Your son is not as good as the cards. Zhao Jixi said coquettishly and cutely, and he was a person who was not ashamed of being cute. Stop being so rude. Hurry up. I'm in great luck. Don't let it slip away anytime soon. Okay, go ahead. Remember to win more. Zhao Jixi wanted to say something, but his mother hung up the phone. Are you kidding me? When did my mother become so carefree? Zhao Jixi was stunned. Strange. It's strange. When I called her in my previous life, she gave me so many instructions. Are you so confident in me now? His mother hung up the phone and immediately put it down and started playing Mahjong again. Hurry up, show the cards. However, the people at the table all looked at her strangely. Sister, why don't you say a few more words? Children are impetuous, so you need to guide them more. You were not like this before. Yes, sister, you should talk more to Zhao with his personality, and you can't let him get too cocky. In fact, what she said was still euphemistic. What she wanted to say in her heart was, with Zhao Jixi's bastard personality, if you don't teach him a lesson, he will be in big trouble. Only the mother calmly touched another card. Zhao is grown up now. I didn't think so before, but this time he came back, I felt that this kid was mature. He is now comprehensive in doing things. This time, the third and fourth children in the family wanted to open a store, and he was the one who helped the sisters. 30,000. Hit. Mom collected the cards and continued. He's grown up now, and I believe he knows what he can and can't do. If I keep nagging, it will make me disliked. Then she played another card. It's it, Jiatang. Big sister, but you can't help but say this. Zhao is still young. If you don't remind him, what will happen if he goes astray? Children have their own way. He is really mature now. Haha, I'm relieved as a mother. You don't have to worry. Hey, self-drawn. Give me money. Zhou obviously didn't know what his mother was thinking, and he was still thinking about what was going on. But although he had some ideas, he was not too sure. Since he couldn't guess, he didn't think about it anymore. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.